Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. It's Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. Here's what's coming up on the Owen Report today. All right. We'll address the elephant in the room of the tardiness in a second, so just relax. All right. We got some new polls. We got some new polls out indicating that Republicans and Trump, this is the lowest approval rating they have had since Trump's inauguration. So they're only going downhill. The polls are going one direction, and we all know why. We'll address this. And then another poll shows that young Americans, the generation of millennials and down, are rejecting both parties. They don't have an approval rating of the Democrats or the Republicans. It's a negative approval rating of both parties. And are rejecting Israel. The approval rating of Israel in millennials and lower, the youngest of any generation in modern American history. The approval rating of both the Republicans and the Democrats of millennials and younger, lower than any other time in American history. And I guess really you could say that these things are all connected. I think that would be fair to say. So we're going to look into that. Now, there's all kinds of geopolitical news as Davos is kicking off. You have another day of the American-Israel Council happening. Funny story about that, by the way. Funny little story about that and a guest who popped up in a panel at the Israeli-American conference. So we'll have that for you. Greenland, Zelensky, Ukraine. All of this is coming together. All of this is merging as the EU is deciding what to do with both of these issues. And of course, Zelensky, he's canceled his trip to Davos, and we'll explain why. But we've got a lot of news developing here. We've got some election integrity news. We'll talk about that. We've got more of these leftist protest groups. They're on the move. Yeah. And nothing is being done about it. What do you know? And guess what? We already know one of these groups. And still Pam Bondi won't shut it down. She just refuses to do it. We got a couple statements from Trump, by the way, on election integrity. Some pardons, some new Trump pardons, maybe won't be so surprising. No, won't be so surprising. And then there's really a lot of stuff happening in Israel right now. And this is the key. This is why the younger generation is rejecting Israel. It's because of their attitude. It's because of what they're doing. And we have the internet now. We can see it. We all can watch what you guys are saying and what you guys are doing. And to put it lightly, we don't like it. To put it lightly, we don't like it. And we don't want anything to do with it. So they're going after, they're targeting specific groups now. The Israel lobby, the Israel influencers are targeting specific groups in response to this. So we're going to review all of that as well. A little development in the Charlie Kirk assassination today. We'll give you an update on that, explain what that is all about. Tina Peters, unfortunately, continues to rot in prison, and that's not good. That's not good at all. So, all of this and more coming up on the Owen Report today.
This news update was brought to you by OwenSchroyer.store, the official site for Owen Report merchandise.
No one can stop this. No one can stop this. No one can stop this. No one can stop this.
On the cutting edge of news and analysis, the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
No one can stop this.
All right. Guys, I apologize for the clunkiness. That should be the last of it. I apologize for the clunkiness. I apologize for the tardiness. That should be the last of it today. I'm sorry I had to take this legal call. It's one of those days, guys. It's just been one of those days. All right. You don't need the details. You don't need the details of all of it unless you want them. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about it later. It's not worth the time right now. It's just been one of those days. A lesser host would have just taken the day off. A lesser host would have just said, you know what? Too much going on. Not going to do it today. But I'm not a lesser host. I'm a greater host. And as long as I can get in my studio and do the show, I'm going to do it. If that means having to delay it or whatever, then we'll just go about it that way. So there's only been one time where a family issue came up and I couldn't get access to the studio. I couldn't be at home that we did not do a show. So it's only happened once. So I don't like doing that. I would much rather delay if it's possible, like today. But sorry for the tardiness. Sorry for the clunkiness to start the show. But just took last call of the day, last issue. All the boxes are checked. So we're full steam ahead. We should be good to go. And I got a great show. I got a ton of content today, and we'll go for at least 3 hours. We'll go, we normally do 3 hours. We might do some extended hours as kind of my, let's say my effort to, in good faith, show you that, no, we're still putting in the good work here. And we don't take any shows off per se. Every show we go 100%. So just to kind of show you some appreciation for sticking around, even though we're tardy and a little clunky to start the show. Maybe we'll even do some extended transmissions. All right. Trying to keep up with everything here, guys. All right. So I see these polls today, and there's a reason why, by the way, I'm pulling this up as a Google search. It's the strangest thing, and maybe you guys are noticing this too. It seems like almost every news outlet that has an internet front is now charging you to get access to their stories. Because I was looking for the different stories. Like, I can pull it up here on Gallup and I can show you these polls. And I was trying to read this story. Have you guys noticed this? All of these digital fronts, all of these digital news fronts, you can't even get access to them anymore. And I've already purchased like 6 subscriptions to these websites so I can read the news, and it's just like every damn day there's a new paywall and I can't get access. I'm sick of it. I'm at my limit. I'm sick of buying these damn subscriptions. And I wonder if the digital media has reached this point where they're like, look, we're not making any money. Who cares if people read our stories or not? We're not making any money. And so I guess they've just done the measurements now where they're just, everything is going to be behind a paywall. So anyway, here's the poll. New high of 45% in the United States identify as political independence. Now, there's a lot that goes into this. The reason this is the new high is mostly because of younger generations. So millennials and younger are rejecting both the Democrats and the Republicans. Also, millennials and younger are rejecting Israel. They have a low approval rating of Israel. And we showed you the poll from yesterday. For the first time in modern American history, Americans view Palestine in a better light than Israel. So now Israel is on the negative side of this, and Palestine is on the positive side of this. So all of these things tie together. All of these things tie together. Now, we're going to come back to this later on in the show because I've got so much on this issue. But let me just kind of put it out there, removing the headlines, removing the noise, and just let's just break this down. Let's just be honest about what's going on, because it's really hard for people to comprehend why this is happening. There's a state of denial, I would say, and then there's obviously the bias and the propaganda. But here's what you have. You have young generations of Americans, and maybe it's even before Gen X, but the polls, the numbers are now showing it's millennials and younger where the majority of the people are starting to feel the same way. You have millennials and younger that are getting out of college with such high levels of debt that they look at their future, their financial future, the prospects of owning a home and getting a good job. And it's like, for millennials, it was kind of low, and then it just keeps getting lower and lower and lower. And debt keeps getting higher and higher and higher. The dollar keeps losing its value. Inflation gets worse, and yet nobody's really making that much more money. So there's a lot of disenfranchisement. There is a lot of discontent. And so you're looking up and you're saying, well, what is going on? Why is it with my corrupt government that's in debt that just taxes me out the wazoo? What is going on? And so they're looking around. And yes, while there are many benefactors of welfare and foreign aid, there is no single greater benefactor than Israel. There is no single greater influence on our Congress, on our government, than Israel. So then they start to look in that direction, and then they see the Israelis, the most arrogant, entitled people they've ever seen in their lives, and the most violent. And they're sitting here and they're saying, I don't support any of this. I don't support a foreign nation. I have nothing to do with this foreign country. I don't like them killing a bunch of people. I don't want anything to do with them. So then Israel and the Israeli lobby comes in and they say, oh, well, you're not allowed to think that. You're an anti-Semite. And these people say, what are you talking about? I don't have a hateful bone in my body. I'm freaking broke. And I want nothing to do with you anymore. So, oh, you're an anti-Semite. You're a Jew hater. What? So now they've created this resentment. Now they've created this clash. And they're telling younger generations, you're not allowed to think that. You're not allowed to see that. Stop that. And so this is growing the resentment. This is growing the disenfranchisement. This is growing the discontent. And then it's the politics and the politicians and the mainstream media and the digital influence campaign. And they're saying, ignore your problems. Ignore the fact that you're broke. Ignore the fact that you can't afford a home. Ignore the fact that your government is corrupt. Ignore all of this stuff, but most importantly, ignore the fact that they all seem to support one cause, no matter what side of the aisle they're on, and they all seem to take money from the same foreign lobby, no matter what side of the aisle they're on. And then these same people want to henpeck you and browbeat you that you have to support that. Well, guess what? These kids now, they have nothing to lose. What are you going to do? You're going to take away their money? They don't have any. You're going to take away their social media? Well, they'll make a new social media. You're going to take away their house? They can't buy a house. So they have nothing left to lose. They have nothing left to risk. And it's all day, nonstop, around the clock. Israel, 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 Israel. And they're sick of it. They're done. They don't care. But see, from the Israeli lobby's perspective, the number one benefactor of the power of the United States for the last 3 decades, the number one benefactor of U.S. foreign aid for the last 3 decades, the number one benefactor of U.S. foreign policy, U.S. military. Everybody sees it. It's undeniable. And so they're just done. And they see it's the Republicans. They see it's the Democrats. They see no matter who they vote for, they get the same results. And now the polls are starting to show it. And so what's the response from the Israeli lobby? Let's hire more people. Let's spend more money on digital influence campaigns. Let's browbeat them harder. And I've got all of this evidence coming up. But it's like you either see it and understand it, or you just aren't even trying to look, or you're rejecting it, you're denying it, you can't believe it. But this is what's going on. And the older generations are trying to cling to what they used to have, which is a majority of the people, a majority of opinion, a majority of whatever. It's gone. Their majority's gone, and it's only going one direction. They're not getting any younger. So they've lost the grip on the narrative. They've lost the grip as far as foreign policy is concerned. They see it slipping. And so we're just sitting here and we're saying, okay, well, gee, we thought Trump would be different. And then it turns out in this case, in this regard, he's worse than ever. He's the worst there's been. And he brags about it. He rubs it in your face. I'm the most pro-Israel president there's been. And he goes and travels over there and brags about Marian Adelson and how she cares about Israel more than America. And it's just smashing it into your face. And then it's like, oh, wow, this is happening. They say, no, it's not. And you're an anti-Semite if you say it is. And so it's one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to move on to the news. But this is the reality. And this is all true. Which is why it's so strange when people deny this. This is not even, I'm not the one that presented this stuff. It is now public knowledge. It is now a public admission that Israel controls Congress. AIPAC admits it. Trump admits it. Everybody knows it. I mean, Ted Cruz says, oh, I'm here for Israel. So so it's all public admissions. Israel controls Congress. The Israeli lobby, Marian Adelson, only care about Israel. This administration and Congress is their top priority is Israel. And, of course, you've got the slip of the tongue, I guess, from Steve Witkoff. I just think he's an honest guy. I think he's just having conversations. And he admits, yeah, the whole plan in Gaza had been in works for years, even before October 7th. And then you look over at Israel, and they're admitting it was a stand down, and IDF soldiers admitting it was a stand down. And anybody who'd been there, from Charlie Kirk to General Flynn, say, yeah, that's impossible to have that security failure. There's no way. All of this is public knowledge. All of this is publicly available for you to consume and understand the larger picture. But you report these facts, and then somehow you get attacked, you get demonized, you get name called, you get put on lists. It's literally all. So, I mean, and then imagine what that does. Reject the evidence. Reject the evidence of your own eyes. Reject the evidence of your own eyes, your own ears. Reject the admissions that they make. Just reject it all. That's what they tell you. Just reject it all. All right. So let's put that aside for a second. And let's get into some of the news here. Well. There's a Free America walkout. Now, this was supposed to happen today. I haven't really seen anything about this. There was a lot of this in Texas, as you can see on the map in front of me. A lot of this in Texas, Dallas, a lot of it in Houston, Austin, little San Antonio action here, but it's all over. So this is the walkout. This is the Free America walkout. It's all about protesting ICE. Here's their official notice that they sent out to their giant digital infrastructure, and they can send this stuff out. Free America walkout. 1 year into Trump's second regime, we face an escalating fascist threat. ICE raids on our communities, troops occupying our cities, families torn apart, attacks on our trans siblings. What are we even talking about? Mass surveillance. Now, that one's kind of true. And terror used to keep us silent. It is time for our communities to escalate as well. Wow. On January 20th at 2 p.m. local time, I haven't seen anything about this, so I don't know if it might have fallen flat. We will walk out of work, school, and commerce. Well, I don't think you people work, so I don't really know if that's going to affect anybody here. You guys seem to not have jobs. We will withhold our labor, our participation, our consent of Free America begins the moment we refuse to cooperate. This is not a request. This is a rupture. A rupture. This is a protest and a promise in the face of fascism. We will be ungovernable. It's too bad these liberals and these Democrats are so lost in a world that doesn't exist, because it's like you can kind of go with the vibe here. It's like, yeah, Americans need to stand up. Americans need to unite, and we need to get this corrupt system off our back. But they're kind of just part of the corrupt system. They just haven't figured it out yet. It's like, hey, you're out here stopping a child rapist from getting arrested. Good job. Yeah, you guys really got your priorities figured out here. You're out here protesting ICE that's trying to get a child rapist arrested. So it turns out this is the same group that you've heard of before. This is the Women's March. So this is the Women's March, all formed as an anti-Trump movement. Harvey Weinstein was their big, that was their big scalp to make it like, okay, we've got a scalp. This is real, even though it's really all about Trump. And then they have these massive Trump marches, anti-Trump marches, these women marches. So, Pam Bondi, where are you? What are you doing? We're literally sitting here watching the organizations that you said you were going to shut down. We're watching the same organizations that have been active for almost 10 years. They are well-funded, they are well-organized, and they have a digital infrastructure where they can just say, oh, we're the Free America walkout, and then take the digital infrastructure from the Women's March and send out mass texts, mass emails, and Pam Bondi does nothing. Pam Bondi is at a Israeli council talking about how she's going to arrest anybody that's mean to Jews. So, Pam, you just had Don Lemon the other day say it. Hey, I'm with this group. I'm with this activist group. They're organized. They're funded. And where are you, Pam? Where are you? You said you were going to shut this stuff down. You said you were going to find the organizers, find the funders, and shut this whole thing down, and you haven't done it. And now here they are utilizing the digital infrastructure that they built with the Women's March 10 years ago. And you have no clue what's going on, it seems. None at all. Or maybe you're just interested in taking foreign money and working at Fox News. Maybe that's what this is. And hey, if that's the case, fine. Then please leave the Department of Justice. You need to resign. And give it to Harmeet Dillon if you want. And people have their problems with Harmeet, whatever. I think Harmeet Dillon actually wants to do a job. I don't see Harmeet Dillon dolling herself up for Fox News every day. Harmeet Dillon actually seems to be following the bouncing ball and wanting to do a job here. But I'm guessing she's a little handcuffed. She's a little handicapped because Bondi is the Attorney General, and it's really quite embarrassing. Because she said in an interview today, she's like, well, I want to do all this stuff, but it has to go through Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi does nothing. This is an embarrassment. Pam Bondi is an embarrassment. So we got more of it today. We got more of these protests. It's insane. They're out here. And by the way, there's no police. There's no police. The Trump administration has knowledge of this. The local police are standing down. They're standing down, folks. So now these terrorists are just harassing random people in the streets. They just run up to your car and start harassing you now. Here's the latest example from Minnesota. Car is stopped at a stoplight, and they just harass these people for no reason.
That's him! That's him! Is that him? Is that him? Yes! Open the door!
Look at this.
Oh my God. Drive! Oh my God. Just drive! Stop! Wait, let them go! Let them go! Hey, pull over! Hey, leave it! Get out of here! Leave it up! No! Y'all just let him leave! It's not working! Hey! We don't know him! Hey, let him out! Let him out! We got his back! That's him!
They're literally out here harassing random people in their cars, folks. If this isn't terrorist activity, I don't know what is. Paging Pam Bondi, Earth to Pam Bondi. Come back from Israel, Pam. Come back from synagogue, Pam. Come back from the Israeli conference, Pam. Come back. You're the Attorney General of the United States. You're the head of the Department of Justice. You're missing in action. You are derelict of your duties. Actually, you need to be arrested, Pam. Yeah, actually, Pam Bondi should be arrested. How about that? How do you like that? And I see this debate about, well, Don Lemon needs to be arrested. How about this? How about Pam Bondi needs to be arrested? How about Pam Bondi needs to be arrested for covering up the Epstein files illegally now? How about Pam Bondi needs to be arrested for dereliction of duty to such a degree that she's now putting people in harm's way? How do you like that? I'm so sick of it, man. I'm so sick of it. And so is everybody else, by the way. So is everybody else. Earth to Pam Bondi. Did you forget you're the Attorney General of the United States? Earth to Pam Bondi. Did you forget that you said you were going to be going after these groups and shutting them down? What happened, Pam? Did you get a call from your friends at the Israeli Council? Where are you? Did you get a call from Fox News? You couldn't make it? You couldn't do your job? We're sick of it. And so it's only going to get worse. The police have stood down. Pam Bondi's gone. It's a joke. The Democrats run Minnesota. They're not going to do anything. They're helping these protests. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's like nobody has the power to do anything. You know, it's just like, oh my gosh, we keep hearing from the Trump administration complaining. Like, you guys are in power. What are you complaining for? Stephen Miller, over 1,600 times, judges have unconstitutionally and unlawfully ordered the release of illegal aliens. No democracy can function this way. Shares the headline here from Politico. Hundreds of judges reject Trump's mandatory detention policy with no end in sight. Judges have ruled against the administration in more than 1,600 cases. So hold on a second. Unconstitutionally. So if I'm hearing you correctly, they're committing a crime. They're violating their oath to the Constitution. That would be a crime. Stephen, you are in the administration. This is like when Trump comes out and posts, oh, they're committing treason. Oh, they're committing election fraud, which he did again today. What? We put you in power. You are literally the White House. You are literally the executive branch. You are literally the president of the United States. You are literally the administration. And you're sitting here like, oh, look, the Democrats are committing crimes. Oh, look, judges are committing crimes. Oh, look, they're stealing elections. Look, they're invading our country. Look, they're committing fraud. We just elected you to do something about it. Why aren't you doing something about it? And see, it gets back to the main issue, because we're sitting here, we're saying, hey, look, okay, so we all agree they're committing treason, the judges are acting illegally, they're committing fraud, all of this stuff. It's like, why aren't you doing anything? And they say, well, what are they doing? Well, they're doing everything Israel wants them to do. They're doing everything the foreign lobby, the foreign donors, the special interests, the special donors. They're doing everything that they want. They're getting everything. They're going to get the oil. They're going to get the rare earth minerals. They're going to get the natural resources. They're going to get the land. They're going to get the priority. And then we look up and it's like, oh, Democrats are committing treason again. So why don't you do something? Yeah. Pretty strange, isn't it? And they don't even fear anything. They have no fear. The Democrats win an election in Virginia, and they already are signing legislation to get rid of hand counting votes. So in other words, the Democrats are going to steal every election they can in Virginia now. How do you like that? How's that election integrity going? And Tina Peters, the one woman that actually tried to do something about it, she still rots in jail, by the way. And she's getting assaulted in jail now, by the way. We'll have that story coming up later. So the new legislation in Virginia requires ballot scanner machines to be used to count machine-readable ballots and prohibits, are you reading this? Prohibits hand counting ballots. I mean, folks, they might as well just come out and laugh and say, hey, we're about to rig every election we can in Virginia. F you. Banning hand counting ballots. This is the opposite of what Trump wanted. And what is Trump doing about it? He's posting on Truth Social. Trump's posting on Truth Social like he's not the president of the United States. And he shares this thing about all the voter fraud that happened in the 2020 election. He says, these people must be in jail for a long time. Totally rigged election. So why aren't they, Mr. President? Am I in the Twilight Zone here? Like, what is this? What are we saying? So Dan Bongino, he's leaving the FBI to go back to his podcast so the real fight can begin. Yeah, they're scared of me now. I'm leaving the FBI to go do my show. Now we're rolling. Now we're in power. Now we're going to get results. What? You were at the FBI. Here's Trump. Oh, these people belong in jail. They stole an election. You're the president of the United States. What are you doing? What are you doing about it? What is Pam Bondi doing about it? What is Kash Patel doing about it? What is anybody doing about it? Or do we just post about it? Do we just talk about it? I'm sorry. Am I in the Twilight Zone? Are you not the president of the United States? Am I missing something here? And then we hear all of this noise. It's all noise about all the fraud. And Harmeet Dillon goes on with Glenn Beck, and she does the same routine. They're like, oh, well, we secured all of these charges and prosecutions in Minnesota. That was from years ago. That's not the new stuff. That's the old stuff. And, Nick Shirley breaks the big story, and now Trump is sharing Nick Shirley out on the streets talking about how bad Muslims are, and we need to worry about Muslims and Islam. It's like, oh, okay, I see. Meanwhile, Trump just pardoned, another 13 criminals, another 13 fraudsters, literally right here. Here it is on the screen. These are the most recent fraudsters that just got pardoned by Trump. Here's one for you. David Levy. Convicted in January 2024, conspiracy to commit securities fraud, pardoned by Trump. It goes on and on. And, hey, because we're taking fraud seriously, see? Yeah, you know why? Yeah, you're not getting any fraud arrests. You're getting fraudster pardons. Trump orders release of Arkansas congressman's son serving a drug sentence. Oh, we're going after the drugs. This is a meth dealer, and I'm against the war on drugs. So I'm not trying to take some principled stance. We're just looking for consistency. So, we're going after the drugs. The drug dealers are bad. We'll start a war with the drug dealers. And then we're going to pardon drug dealers. We're going to release drug dealers from jail. Now, maybe this was a political thing because it was a Representative Steve Womack's son. So Trump orders the release of the congressman's son serving a drug sentence. Okay. Been an interesting week for the Womack family. So first the son gets released, then his wife died. Terry Womack, wife of U.S. Representative Steve Womack, has died. So, okay. I'm not saying these two things are connected, but certainly a wild week in that family, wouldn't you say? Oh, I'm stunned. I'm stunned Trump's approval rating is going down. I'm stunned the Republican Party's approval rating is going down. I'm stunned young Americans that voted for Trump are disenfranchised and discontent with all of this. I'm stunned. I can't figure out why it would be. It's a mystery, guys. It's a mystery with all this good news that we got. It's a mystery. Why their approval rating would be going down. I can't figure it out. Maybe you guys in the chat can figure that one out for me, because I'm at a loss. Aren't you sick of winning, guys? Yeah. Aren't you sick of winning? Who's winning, by the way? Who is winning? That's a good question to ask. Can anybody tell me who is winning? Very interesting. It's pretty obvious, actually. Why? It's pretty obvious why the approval rating is going down. It couldn't be more obvious. I just wonder, is this going to be the case? Is this going to be the case for all 4 years? That's the question. Do we have to deal with this for 4 years? Like, is this it? Is this what we get? Nothing? Just more bad foreign policy? More foreign lobbyists and special interests getting everything they want? The American people get smashed and screwed again? Is that it? So sick of winning, guys. So sick of winning, guys. Aren't you guys sick of winning? Well, if this is winning, then yeah, I'd say we're pretty sick of winning. If this is what you call winning, I'd say we're pretty sick of winning, huh? I'd say so. All right, we're going to start to get into some of these Davos clips. A lot of interesting stuff happening there, and that'll lead us into the geopolitical stack. Folks, we got a new sponsor for the show. Very excited about this. If you've got pets, you care about your pet's health, you're going to listen to this. You're going to want to listen to this one, okay? And you do see people that, the dog, the cat, it's part of your family. It's part of your family. And it is part of your family. So you need to hear about Petmectin. And this may ring a bell. It maybe rhymes with something. At RESOVX.Health. For years, we have fought to have access to medicine that we know would help fight COVID for humans. But what about our pets? Did you know that ivermectin for pets assists with heartworm prevention in dogs and cats? Also treats intestinal worms, roundworms, hookworms, not to mention external parasites like mites. Have you had any of these problems with your pets? Have you had these issues? Pretty common. Check out Petmectin at RESOVX.Health. You can see the link right there on the screen. RESOVX. Petmectin is 100% pure pharmaceutical grade, human grade ivermectin. It's the highest quality, third-party tested, and most affordable ivermectin offered in the United States. Go to RESOVX.Health. That's RESOVX.Health. You can see the link right there on the screen. And you can use right now coupon code OWEN10 for an additional 10% off. Coupon code OWEN10 for an additional 10% off. While you're there, you can also find other incredible products like hydroxychloroquine, fenbendazole. We nailed that one. Fenbendazole. Huh? Got that right first time. Research studies and clinical outcomes from the likes of Dr. Makis and Joe Tippin suggest ivermectin combined with fenbendazole, offered by RESOVX.Health as Petdazole, may be a powerful anti-cancer compound. Even President Trump used both ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine. We remember that. We remember the attacks on that. It's like anything the establishment attacks, you want to look into. These products and more are all available at RESOVX.Health. RESOVX.Health. Shop all the products. They all ship within the United States. And don't forget right now, with your purchase, coupon code OWEN10, coupon code OWEN10 for an additional 10% off.
It's your favorite podcaster's favorite podcast, The Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
All right, taking a deep breath here. Came out hot. Came out hot today. It's been one of those days, guys. You know, it's been one of those days. I'm looking at some of the updated stories here before we go to some of these Davos clips. So there's been 2 huge train crashes in Spain. The second, it just happened almost 100 dead. Well, we're getting, I guess we don't know the final numbers of this most recent one. It was, last I saw, it was 40 from the last one. And we all have, if you've been following the geopolitical developments here, Spain has been one of the most outspoken countries in Europe against Israel lately. A lot of their politicians very outspoken against Israel. So this news is breaking. And you have all of these people in Israel going into these online forums embedded in the news stories or going on to X and sharing them, and they're all celebrating all the Spanish dead. They're celebrating it, because they don't like what Israel's killing a bunch of people, so the Spanish don't like it. So now the Israelis are in there celebrating that these Spanish people are dying in train accidents. That's nice. That's always good to see. That's always nice. And it's funny because I took that out of my stack. I had compiled, I hadn't compiled it. Somebody else had compiled it. I had the compiled statements and posts of all the Israelis celebrating the train attack. And I was like, I don't want to do that today. I got enough of that. So I scrapped it. It didn't even make the final cut. But now I see there's been another train crash. So there you go. There you go. The news is crazy today. The news is insane today. The news that I cut from the show, I could do a whole show with the news that I cut from the show. Yeah. By the way, as we go to these Davos clips, 1 year, it's officially 1 year. 1 year, this Trump administration, Trump has been president, second administration, 1 year, zero, count them, zero deep state arrests. Not a single one. Plenty of bombs, though. Plenty of bombs, plenty of war, Lots of foreign aid, that whole thing. That old thing, Supposed to be different. But it's not. So Scott Bessent, I've been pretty positive of Scott Bessent. I think he's one of the few people in this administration that's actually competent and doing a job. But this is crazy from Scott Bessent, and I think it shows the total disconnect that this administration has. It shows that they're just totally disconnected from reality. And look, there are a bunch of rich guys. And that's fine. I don't hate rich people. I would probably advise you might actually want to like rich people. You probably want to work for a rich person, maybe be friends with them. But anyway, it's a bunch of rich guys. It's a bunch of rich guys. They got plenty of money, probably have had plenty of money their whole lives. So they really can't even relate to the average American. They're just so disconnected. Now, that doesn't mean they can't do good work that benefits the average American. But they're clearly just completely disconnected. And this statement from Scott Bessent has to be the greatest indicator. This is like the George Bush, he doesn't know how to scan groceries. This is an incredible statement from Scott Bessent. I mean, I don't know. Did he misspeak? This thing is so out of range. You wonder if he misspoke when he says this at Davos.
We are going to give guidance at some point to see what is a mom and pop. That someone, maybe your parent.
Oh, you guys, I'm sorry to disrupt this transmission, but I thought I would let you know that Pam Bondi is back on Fox News. So that's good. Okay, back to Scott Bessent.
We are going to give guidance at some point to see what is a mom and pop. That someone, maybe your parents for their retirement, about 5, 10, 12 homes. So we don't want to push the mom and pops out. We just want to push everyone else out.
Wait, what? Tell me, is anybody's parents buying 5 to 10 homes for their retirement? I've literally never heard of this before in my life. Never. And I know rich people. I had rich friends growing up. I've never heard of that. That's what I'm saying. It's like you think you know rich people, or you might even think you're rich. And then you hear a statement like that. Oh, yeah, well, people are just buying 10 homes for their retirement. What? I don't know anybody that owns 10 homes. I've never heard of anybody that owns 10 homes. I might know somebody that might own a couple homes, maybe 2 or 3, like they got a vacation home over here, or maybe a lake house, or they bought another home and they gave it to their children. Yeah, that's kind of a wealthy thing. Yeah, you're rich. You go, buy a vacation home, buy a lake home, whatever. Maybe you rent it out, So yeah, I know some rich people that have a vacation home, a lake home, whatever. Maybe 2 or 3 max. And it's like, yeah, okay, they're doing well. They're rich. It's nice people. No, for Scott, we buy 10 homes for our retirement. It's not even a vacation thing. It's a retirement account. I mean, wait, what? Do we need to, hold on.
Maybe your parents for their retirement have bought 5, 10, 12 homes. So
your parents have bought 5, 10, 12 homes. What? Now, maybe Scott's parents, maybe that's Scott himself has bought 10 homes for his retirement. Good for you, Scott. I know you've done well. How can you say something like that? How can you be that disconnected? Folks, even like professional athletes don't even own 10 homes. What is that? I got to say, that is one of the more disconnected things. That's probably the most disconnected thing I've ever heard from Scott Bessent, quite frankly. So I don't understand that, but I think it just shows how disconnected this administration is right now, folks. It's just they've lost their touch with the average American. Now, this is more of the World Economic Forum, speakers, elitists that are totally out of touch. They're some of them are back onto the climate change scam. Some of them are back onto the you can't own anything scam, because it's bad for the climate, of course. So here's the solution, guys.
If you can get people to share a car, you can take out, a lot of cars in the streets. I think it's Singapore where they looked at how they could bring it down to about 40% of the cars if we would use them smarter. And the interesting thing about technology is that it makes sharing easy and fun and not annoying. It used to be a little bit difficult to share. You would have to go in somewhere in the other end of town and get a key. And that's not what you want to do if you want to take your car. But if you can just use your neighbor's car because you have a smartphone and an app and you don't even need to know the neighbor to get into his car, or if you can find ways of carpooling, and this is what technology helps you. If you
Oh, yes. That's it. That's what we need. We need a bunch of people that own private jets and a fleet of vehicles and a yacht just for fun that they probably never even use. We need people that own yachts and private jets and fleets of vehicles to tell us that we don't need to own a car. Yes. That's the answer here. Again, now this is, whatever, some European bimbo. But it's funny. Again, it just shows the disconnect. We are entering an age of the haves and the have-nots that I don't think anybody alive in the Western world, probably not in America, I don't think anybody alive has ever lived through an age like this of the haves and the have-nots. Not in the Western world, definitely not in America. The age of the haves and the have-nots is really becoming apparent. And the have-nots, really, it's like, it's all of us. It's all of us. And even if you are listening, and I'm sure there's people that are very well off out there, and good for you, and maybe your house is totally paid off, drive a nice car, got a nice savings, got a nice retirement, good for you. But you're still in the have-nots. It's very clear. You're still in the have-nots. When they're up here talking about, oh, I own 10 homes for my retirement. Yeah. Okay. Think about how disconnected this Euro trash is, whoever this lady is. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's how it works down here in the have-nots. Like, you have any idea what it's like to be a have-not. Like, you have any idea what it's like to have to work 40, 50 hours a week. Like, you have any idea what it's like to have multiple children you got to take care of. Like, you have any idea all the running around that people have to do, taking kids to daycare, babysitter, maybe they're sharing a car, the husband and the wife both working, all of these different scenarios. And she's so disconnected. She just says, oh, yeah, just call your neighbor, borrow their car. Are you retarded? My neighbor's at work, bitch. Oh, yeah, just call your neighbor. Yeah, it's no problem. You guys share cars. Are you retarded? Do you have any idea what it's like down here for us at all? Do you have any clue the struggle? Do you have any clue the hustle? Oh, yeah, just borrow your neighbor's car, because they're not doing anything, obviously. Your neighbor's just sitting around doing nothing, because they don't need to work for a living. They don't need their car. Just go borrow their car. And your other neighbor, too. It's you guys just share a car. Bitch, we're working 50 hours a week out here. We're lucky if we can have 2 cars for the man and the woman if you have a family. We're lucky if we have 2 cars that we can both drive and get around and take Sally to baseball practice or softball practice, or, take Johnny to soccer practice or basketball practice or, violin lessons or whatever it is. Like, we're lucky if we can even have multiple vehicles and everybody can get to where they need to be on time. You're lucky if you're in that position now as one of the have-nots. And this bimbo, this Euro trash, oh, well, just borrow your neighbor's car. Yeah, a whole neighborhood. Hey, you guys just need 1 car. What world are you living in? And these are the people that run the world, folks. These are the people that run the world. And they are so disconnected from reality. They are so removed from the average Americans, or maybe average person on earth. They're so removed from their experience, they just think, oh, yeah, you guys, just take one of your vacation homes. Just take one of your 10 houses, Oh, whole neighborhood. Just share 1 car. You'll be fine. What do you think goes on here? They really don't understand. And it's all over the news. The data is all out there. They really don't understand that now half of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. What do you mean share a car? We're out here living paycheck to paycheck. We're out here trying to get to point A to point B and make sure the entire family can also get to point A and point B. And you're out here saying, oh, just share a car with your neighbor? What planet do you live on? Oh, you don't need to own a car. And then what? You're going to go hop on your yacht and it's going to take you to your private jet. And then you're going to go to one of your 10 vacation homes and you're going to sit up there with your silver spoon and say, isn't it so great what I've done? Oh, it's so great what I've done. Look, I've now forced 20 people to share 1 vehicle. It used to be inconvenient, but now it's so great. These people are living on a different planet. They're living on a different planet. Now, we've been warning about this incoming energy crisis. Seems that they've figured it out too. Here's Larry Fink talking about it.
The world is going to be short power. Short power. And to power these data companies, you cannot have just this intermittent power like wind and solar. You need dispatchable power because you can't turn off and on these data centers.
So I hear this statement, and we've been warning about this for some time. The AI, the processors, the data, all of it, the energy it's going to take. And the energy just isn't available, folks, unless they want to shut your energy off, which is what they're going to do, by the way. You'll be priced out of energy. You'll be priced out of energy. But I'm hearing this, and I'm saying, wait a second. Do you care about data centers? Honestly, do you care? Do you give a damn about data centers? Because it's all for their giant AI now. This is all for their new AI surveillance grid, their technotronic world governance, and it's all their data. It's all the data that they own now, which is your data. your private data, that they own all of it, and they want processors running 24/7 to run this AI technotronic global surveillance and governance grid. And they say, we don't have enough energy to run this thing. So you know what they're going to do? They're going to price you out. You're not going to be able to afford energy. And they know it. So they're kind of like slowly warning you. They're like, yeah, we don't really have the energy for all of this. But of course, our data centers and processors and AI, that's the priority here. So heating your home, or, using the dishwasher or the laundry machine, or, whatever it is you like to do at home, heating your house, cooling it, whatever, you're just unnecessary. Actually, you don't need that. And they're already telling you this. They're already telling you don't need a car. You don't need to drive. They already make these new limits. They have them in New York City, parts of California. Oh, no, you don't need that water. Oh, no, you don't need to use that electricity. You can't put your thermostat at a certain temperature. No. That's our energy. That's our energy. After all, hey, look, if you can't afford the energy, just sell one of your 10 retirement homes, If you can't afford the energy, just sell one of your 10 retirement homes. If you can't afford the gas or the, whatever taxes in your car, registration, whatever, then just share your car with your neighbors. You guys figure it out. That's the attitude of these people. So they're just planning on leaving us all behind. That's the plan. Just leave us all behind. The haves are taking over the world, and they really don't give a damn about you. And it shows by the things that they're saying. And, the sad part is we thought Trump was with us. Now it's starting to look like he's not. Now it's starting to look like he's working with them. And yes, he's better than Kamala. Okay. Cool, man. Why don't you, does that make you sleep good at night? Yeah. Hope that makes you sleep good at night. So here we go. Let's go into the geopolitical news. Now, this is hilarious. Trump invites Putin and Netanyahu to join peace panel, mocked as board of billionaires and war criminals. I mean, look. Putting Putin on there is, okay. I like Putin, let's say. But yeah, he's in a war right now. Yeah, they're killing Ukrainians right now. That's happening. But Netanyahu? You're going to put Netanyahu on the peace panel? You might as well put Jeffrey Dahmer on the peace panel. You might as well put Adolf Hitler on the peace panel. Say, yeah, you know what? We're going to add Adolf Hitler to our peace panel. Him and Netanyahu seem to be, they're very similar. Netanyahu on a peace panel? Is this a joke? What kind of sick joke is this? It's almost so bad that I feel like Netanyahu will say no, because even he knows what a bad look that is. It's like, I can't be on a peace panel. How can Netanyahu accept a spot on a peace panel while he's bombing 7 countries? Yeah. Zelensky cancels his trip to Davos. He says, I choose Ukraine. Zelensky cancels trip to Davos following another mass Russian attack. Oh, he chooses Ukraine. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's all about. And he's scolding Trump, too. He's scolding Trump. He says, you need to stop talking about Greenland. You need to stop looking at Greenland. He doesn't support going into Greenland. He needs all your attention. Zelensky needs your attention. Zelensky needs your money. So don't worry about Greenland, Donald Trump. Zelensky says he doesn't support it. He's about Ukraine. He's about Ukraine. All the Ukrainian men that he sent to die by the hundreds of thousands. You know, all the men that they forced into the war outside of the Kiev bubble, outside of the oligarch bubble and families. All the innocent Ukrainians, he literally had his troops round up, throw into vans, throw a uniform on, sent out to the front lines. They're all dead, just stacks of them, just dead. Because he puts Ukraine first. He cares about Ukraine. No. Zelensky is not going because there's no money for him. If Zelensky thought he could go there and ring the EU or NATO for another 300 billion, hell, for another $3. If Zelensky thought he could get $3 out of the EU, he'd go there. If Zelensky thought he could get a nickel, if he thought his appearance at Davos could get him another nickel, he would go there. But he knows there's no money for him there, so that's why he's not going. I'm Ukraine first. You've been traveling all over the world begging for money as all the Ukrainians are dying. Almost entire generations of men dead as you run around the world wringing your hands for more money that gets laundered and stolen and everything else because you care about Ukraine. Yeah, you would sell your own family for a nickel if you could. And if you could get your cut, there's a penny of that's mine, right? Meanwhile, so these Greenland protests are popping up. Is this the entire population of Greenland out here for this? My God. Thousands rally in Greenland's capital city chanting Greenland is not for sale after President Trump doubles down on the U.S. initiative to acquire the country. This protest, they reportedly the biggest demonstration in the nation's history. I don't think that's a stretch. I would say quite confidently this is the biggest demonstration, the biggest protest in the history of Greenland. So, okay, that's not good. That's not good news for Trump. And I guess most importantly, that's not good news for Trump's donors and the special interests that want to get in there and get those natural resources, because that's really what it's all about at the end of the day. Now, again, I'm not against taking Greenland. Greenland has been in the purview of the United States since Andrew Jackson, and I do think there's a benefit to taking Greenland and a low cost. Now, if indeed it just ends up being for all the special and foreign interests, okay, well, then now we're going to have a problem. But now that you've lost the hearts and minds of the people of Greenland, I don't know what you do now. I don't know the support. So now it's just a nightmare. Now it's just a disaster. So they're weighing what to do. And it's Sean Hannity, too, saying this last night. Sean TikTok Hannity. Trump administration mulls payments to sway Greenlanders to the United States. You know, this is one of the most offensive things. This is one of the most offensive things that you as an American can ever see. These politicians hate you. They only care about themselves. U.S. officials have discussed sending lump sum payments to Greenlanders as a part of a bid to convince them to secede from Denmark and potentially join the United States. Again, Hannity said this again last night as these protests are ongoing, but this has been discussed for months. While the exact dollar figure and logistics of any payment are unclear, U.S. officials, including White House aides, have discussed figures ranging from $10,000 to $100,000 per person, said two of the sources who requested to be anonymous to discuss internal deliberations. So Hannity goes on air last night, and you know he's got his little sources. So Sean Hannity reported last night that the administration is considering $100,000 for each Greenlander. You know, why don't you just tell us you hate us? Why don't you just tell us, F you, we hate you? We're never going to see our Doge checks. We're not getting checks. There's no money coming in for us. Oh, you're going to get more money on your tax rebate. You'll get like an extra $20. You'll get like an extra 30, 40, 20, maybe 100, maybe 200 if you're really lucky. But if you're a Greenlander, we got to get those minerals. We got our special interest donors. We got our foreign lobbyist donors. They want that land. They want those resources. We're going in to get it. And if we have to give every single Greenlander $100,000 to do this, then we're going to do it. But you Americans that are living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to get by, can't even afford health care, yeah, F you. What about those $5,000 Doge checks that might have, given us a breath for a month? No. We got $100,000 for Greenland. We got to take it. What a disaster. And so Trump posted this last night. This is a private message with Macron, who for some reason was wearing aviator sunglasses during his speech at Davos today. I don't know what that's about. And maybe he's got a black eye. Or maybe he's got pink eye. Maybe he went down on maybe he did a little, I'm going to stop right there. Something's wrong with his eyes, I guess. He's wearing sunglasses today. But so Trump shares this. From old pink eye Macron. He says, my friend, this is to Trump. My friend, we are totally in line on Syria. We got news on that today, by the way. We can do great things on Iran, but I do not understand what you are doing on Greenland. And he's like, let's meet. Let's have a talk about it after Davos. He's trying to get him to go into Paris with him. I think Trump will pass. Oh, he doesn't get it. Macron doesn't understand what Trump is doing in Greenland. Well, that's because Macron is an idiot. If you can't see what Trump is doing in Greenland, you're an idiot. Everybody sees what's happening in Greenland. They're trying to get in there to take the natural resources. They want access to the natural resources. And look, again, I'm like, I don't know. Now I'm like, the results of this, if we acquire Greenland, the results of this are now not looking good for us. So now I'm kind of backing off of it. It's like, I'd like to do it. I think it's a good move. I think it can benefit us. But if it just ends up being all for the special interests and the foreign lobbyists, then yeah, then screw it. I don't want anything to do with it anymore. But it's so obvious. It's like a part of me is like, okay, look, there's all these untapped natural resources in Greenland. So let's get at it. Let's get at it. Let's build civilization. Let's get these natural resources. For whatever in Greenland isn't touching them, they don't need them. So it's like, all right, we want them. Let's make a deal. But Macron hasn't figured it out, guys. He hasn't figured it out. But Macron is still, he's still trying to figure out what's going on with his wife's undercarriage. So Macron's still confused about what's happening in the underworld of his own wife. Of course, he can't figure out what's going on in Greenland. He can't figure it out. More developments, land swaps. What's going on here? UK defends Chagos deal after Trump calls it act of great stupidity. This does seem like, what it seems like is that the EU are now trying to thumb their nose at Trump, stick their finger geopolitically in Trump's eye with some of these moves. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, hey, if they kick us out of NATO, thank God. Now, they're never going to do that because they're just stealing our money. That's all NATO is just stealing America's money and our military resources. But it looks like this is a total move of just thumbing Trump's eye because of the Greenland stuff. The UK government has defended a deal to give the Chagos Islands to Mauritius and lease back a key military base following criticism from U.S. President Trump over its handling. Trump labeled it as an act of great stupidity months after he and senior U.S. officials endorsed it. Yeah, so they're kind of flip-flopping on that deal, too. There's a lot of flip-flopping happening. But it seems like these are all the quickly moving parts and pieces of the geopolitical chessboard. And it seems to be that this is mostly over Greenland. Trump says UK return of Chagos Islands to Mauritius is reason to acquire Greenland. So So the UK is doing this because they're trying to tell Trump, hey, we're going to do everything we can to piss you off because of this Greenland stuff, so stop it. And then Trump is on the flip side saying, oh, this is what you're going to do to us, so then I need Greenland even more. Is this what you voted for? This is what you voted for, guys. We're bickering over geopolitics here. Can't get a deep state arrest, Can't do anything about stolen elections. Can't do anything about election integrity. Can't get the deportations. Can't get the leftist terror groups shut down and in court. Can't do any of that stuff, but we're going to play politics, geopolitics over, Greenland. And we're going to go into Venezuela, all of the good stuff. Because the regime changes are working so well, right? I mean, the United States has such a success story over regime changes. So here's another one, guys. Now, this is from earlier this month. EU grants Syria $722 million for recovery and humanitarian aid. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on the Syria situation, but, just for people that need to catch up. So there was a regime change war in Syria. Again, this is Israeli-influenced foreign policy to get Assad out of Syria because Assad is not exactly cooperative with Israel. So, okay, Israel gets its regime change in Syria. Al-Qaeda takes over, literally. Al-Qaeda takes over Syria. But hey, Israel benefits, so that's really all that matters in the end. And the EU says, okay, Syria, the regime change war was not good. So here's $722 million for the recovery. Okay. All right. So how are things going over there after that regime change war? U.S. allied fighters in Syria say they lost control of a prison holding ISIS militants. Oh, and you've got Lindsey Graham complaining that the new regime change in Syria is a disaster, and now people are dying by the thousands. The Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces said that it had asked for help from a U.S. coalition base, but that it did not intervene despite repeated calls for intervention. So now these forces that were holding the ISIS terrorists in Syria, now they're all out. And now there's a civil war going on. Now, who cares? Israel got its land. Israel got its guy in there, so they don't care. It was all about Israel. It's always about Israel in the Middle East. And it's always about making sure, because they're smart. I mean, you got to give Israel credit. They know, hey, if we can conquer the Middle East and all we have to do is spend U.S. money and U.S. blood and treasure to do it, then we're geniuses. So that's what they do. And, Muslims dead, they love that too. So there it is. Another Israel-backed, Israel-influenced regime change war. Thousands dead. Doesn't even work. The war is back on. Billions of dollars spent of everyone else's blood and treasure except Israel's. Isn't it fun, guys? Isn't it fun? So it's so successful. So now they're trying to do the same thing in Iran. And they're spreading this propaganda. Max Blumenthal reporting, new Farsi language Mossad recruitment ads make explicit reference to the agency's role in riots across Iran. Quote, this is from the propaganda. Our organization has heard the voice of you, the people of Iran, and is planning the final blows against the regime. Your compatriots inside Iran are engaged in a fateful struggle, and we intend to help you. So everybody knows that it's Mossad on the ground doing this. Everybody knows that it was Israel that brought in all the weapons that caused the skirmishes and led to all the people dead. They admitted it day one. Now they're just shoving their propaganda out there to try to recruit more people to start this fight. So they're going for regime change, folks. They're going to go all the way. They're not going to stop till they get it. And it's really just a matter of, is Trump going to give them everything they want so that they can accomplish that? Or are they going to be forced to do it on their own? That seems to be the only question remaining now, but they're going to go all the way. They're going to go for it. And, if you're an Israeli citizen, unfortunately, it looks like you might be in bomb shelters again soon if they try to pull this off. Yeah. Meanwhile, this is unheard of. Israel bulldozes UN RWA headquarters in East Jerusalem. Palestinian Refugee Agency compound is demolished while tear gas is fired at UN vocational school in West Bank. I'm telling you, you've never seen, I've got more of this. I've never seen it. We've never really seen anything like what Israel is doing right now. Now, it's obviously a much smaller degree. So let's just try to keep things all fair and balanced here, as they say. So it's obviously a much smaller degree than what Hitler and the Nazis were doing, a much smaller scale, but it's basically the same thing. They want an ethno-nationalist state, ethno-religious national supremacy in the region, and anything in their way, they're just going to destroy. And nobody's stopping them. And they're just doing whatever they want. I've never seen more arrogance, more entitlement, more aggression. The whole world. I've never seen this. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this in modern American history as far as the world is concerned. And unfortunately, it is American history because we fund all of this. We support all of this. Our government does, at least. Not the people. The people don't. The government does. So the government doesn't represent the people, but we all know that. And it's like, you know, we're all brainwashed. We're all brainwashed. We're all propagandized. So, you know, because you don't see that in the media, because you don't see that on TV or hear that in the reports or see that in the headlines or read about it in history books, it's like, oh, no, it can't be real. No. What the world is witnessing right now, what Israel is doing, we have never seen anything like this as far as aggression from a military, aggression from a country ever in modern history of the world. Of my 36 years on this earth, I've never seen anything like this. It's not even close. The most aggressive, bloodthirsty state in the entire planet is Israel. And I wouldn't even make a fuss about it. I mean, I'd cover it, but it wouldn't even be some big issue to me. I'm just sick of funding it, and I'm sick of my government being controlled by their foreign lobby. That's all. It's like if you would just leave us alone, if you would just leave us out of it, if you would leave our military, our blood, our treasure, our government, if you would just leave us out of it, it's like, yeah, maybe it wouldn't be such a big deal to us. But you don't. You use us. You use us to do this, and we see what you're doing. You are out of control. Israel is out of control. They are out of control, folks. And nobody's stopping them, and we all know why. I mean, how can you not? It's like, I mean, folks, you've never seen anything like this. This is what Israel did to the Gaza Strip. They nuked it. They nuked it. They nuked the Gaza Strip.
As far as the eye can see, this is a repeated pattern in the Gaza Strip, a grey pattern of destruction. After 2 years of heavy Israeli bombardment, vast quantities of rubble blanket the Gaza Strip. UN officers estimate that more than 60 million tons of rubble now cover the Gaza Strip, an average of approximately 30 tons per person, overwhelming local municipalities, and efforts are being further crippled by severe restrictions on the entry of heavy machinery, fuel, and spare parts needed to clear debris safely and efficiently.
Around 62 million metric tons of rubbles are covering the Gaza Strip. This amount is above the capability of Gaza municipality that lost around 95% of its heavy equipment and now relies on manual tools or damaged machinery that lacks fuel in the first place. This situation needs to be addressed.
In the meantime, Gazans are sitting their tents to live on top of their own history, crushed, compressed, and unresolved. In Gaza, the war has not ended. It has hardened into blocks and dust across the streets and beneath the feet of those still searching for home. Behind me are piles of concrete, remains of shattered homes and neighborhoods. The world sees this as debris. However, Gazans see them as memories of a life once lived. And until the rubble is removed and lifted, the dead remain trapped and the living remain suffocating. At Ibrahim for Press TV, Gaza City, Palestine.
Folks, for all intents and purposes, Israel nuked Gaza. Now, of course, they didn't actually use a nuclear weapon because this is a construction site. So they just did a demolition is what they did. They did a military-style demolition. The international community accepts the 70,000 dead number. That's the number accepted by the international community. It's probably more than that, but let's just say it is 70,000. I mean, how do we support this? How do we support this in the 21st century? And of course, they go back and they say, well, October 7th, this is justice for October 7th. But we all know that's a lie. We all know you stood down on October 7th. Steve Witkoff kind of let the cat out of the bag. And there's been testimony in front of the Knesset. There's been IDF testimony. There have been people that have actually been to the border, Charlie Kirk, General Flynn, and they're like, yeah, this doesn't make sense. There's no way that they didn't know that this was happening for hours and couldn't stop it from happening. Of course not. They stood down. Who knows? They might have even been behind it. This was the plan. Let Hamas attack on October 7th and then use that as the excuse to demolish the entire country so that they can come in, claim the land, and do their own construction on it. 70,000 dead, 700,000 dead. Nobody really knows. And there are people just smashed under the rubble. There's probably people right now alive under that rubble, dying, just smashed, dying under rubble. And the Israeli, oh yeah, Netanyahu doesn't care. Randy Fine laughs. He brags about it. He loves it. So I'm just like, okay, remove your whatever. Remove your political opinions. Remove your geopolitical viewpoints. It's like, you realize you have never seen anything like this in the world. Were you there for World War II? Were you there for Hiroshima, Nagasaki? Did you witness that? Where is your humanity? Where is the world to say, hey, this is crazy? This is crazy. And the oppressive Iranian regime, the evil Muslims. Yeah. Okay. Because Israel can do no wrong. Israel can do no wrong. And even though they stood down and demolished an entire country so that they can take the land and build their own utopia there and say it was theirs because it was promised to them 3,000 years ago, and people right now are literally dying. They're alive, but they're buried under rubble. They're going to die. It's just crazy to witness this, folks. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was that image or just building all of this up for the show today, but it really just hit me. It's like, oh my God. I've never witnessed anything like this in my life. I've never seen anything like this in my life. And we'll see what the history books say about it. We'll see what the history books say about Netanyahu or Ben-Gvir. They might win. And then the history books will say they're the good guys and, this had to be done. And, the evil Hamas and the evil Muslims and all of that. I don't know. We'll see what the history books say. But I'm living it. I'm actually alive right now witnessing it. And I would just challenge anybody. And I'm no supporter of Iran. Screw Iran. Screw Khamenei. Free the people of Iran. Free the people of Israel. Free the people of America. Free the people of planet Earth from these satanic, demonic leaders. Free us all. I'm no fan of the Iranian regime. But just show me what Khamenei has done. Show me anything. Compare and contrast. Can you show me anything that Khamenei has done compared to what Netanyahu has done in the Gaza Strip? Can you show me anything? Can you show me anything as far as the scale of death and destruction that Israel has done in the Gaza Strip? Can you show me anything that compares to that from the Iranian regime? Can you show me anything? I'm not seeing anything like that anywhere in the world except one place from one country doing it. So what are they doing? Everybody's waking up to this. Everybody's seeing this now. So the Israeli conference, they know this. So they're trying to figure out what they do. What can American Jews do, who are really just Israelis? What can the Israelis do living nice and comfortably in America, you know, living off of our great system that we built, living nice and comfortably here? What can they do to deceive you and to continue to support Israel, even though you're watching them engage in this massive death and destruction right now, and they're losing the hearts and minds, and Americans' lifestyle is suffering, barely getting by, and they keep hearing about how, oh, Israel is the most important thing. They keep getting more of our tax dollars. So this is the founder of the Israeli-American Council here. Yeah, you just take American out of it, just because it has nothing to do with it. So this is the Israeli Council here in America, nice and safe and comfortable in America, as they start wars all over the Middle East with our blood, our treasure. And so they're saying, okay, we're losing the hearts and minds. So how do we deceive Americans into supporting us, even though they're witnessing what we're doing in Gaza and they don't like it, and they see that we're the biggest benefactor of their foreign aid as they're suffering financially? How do we deceive them to get them back on our side?
We need to invest in intelligence to understand who are the anti-Semites, who's funding them, what's their plans, who are the leaders. And then once we have that, we can define who is an enemy we can attack.
So it's very important to clarify, what is an anti-Semite? What is an anti-Semite? If you're critical of Israel, if you don't want to give aid to Israel, if you don't want to support Israel, if you don't like Netanyahu. So everybody is an anti-Semite now in their eyes. Anybody that threatens Israel's desires is now an anti-Semite. So that's every American, essentially. So now every American is an anti-Semite. And so he's up here saying, how do we target these people? How do we destroy these people? You're in my country, buddy. What are you going to do? Kill us all? Boy, I shouldn't give you any ideas. We already saw what you did in the Gaza Strip.
So we're not going to go against, Islamo-leftists in the United States. It's too big. We need to define very specific organization, individuals, actions that we can fight against. And for example, when we talk about Islamo-leftists, it's clear that Qatar is behind all that. So we need to focus on Qatar, Muslim Brotherhood, CARE in the United States. When we talk about radical left, we need to focus on the Democratic Socialists of America, which are not Democrats. They're just socialist Marxists that are using democratic means.
So this is all dog whistles to American conservatives, American right-wingers, Republican voters, Christians. Oh, they're going after the Democrats? Oh, they don't like Democrats? They don't like leftists? Ooh, they must be with me. No, they're sitting here telling you they're going to target you and destroy you if you don't support Israel.
To take over the Democratic Party. Mamdani is the Democratic Socialist of America. So we need to focus on DSA. We need to focus on other radical movement, anarchist movements, People's City Council, the PP Forum, a lot of organizations that are being sponsored by China and by Marxist billionaires. And once we have all this information, we need to empower and mobilize an ecosystem of many organizations that we can incentivize them to work together, to share, and to fight against our common enemies. We need to invest in pro-Israel organizations, and we need to invest in pro-American organizations.
Yeah, finally you got to America. So he just said it out loud, folks. They're going to use AI to find out every single American that doesn't support Israel, and they're going to put you in a database, and they're going to try everything they can to destroy you. That's what he just said. And they're going to go out there, and they're going to find all the people that are willing to cooperate and collaborate with them. And that's why they have all this money that they're giving out right now, because they're trying to find out who they can get to fight for them.
Jews are not going to lead this fight for the future of America. We need to understand our role, and we need to think as American, and we need to fight as American. How do I?
So he's not an American. He doesn't identify as American. So he has to put on the American skin suit to try to deceive Americans.
Do all this. As I said, intelligence is priority number one. We need to understand who is the enemy. We can't do anything if we have no idea who is the enemy and what the enemy is planning. Once we have the intelligence, what Gila sitting here and I in Milstein Family Foundation, we support two ecosystems, many organizations, many nonprofit in each one of them. There is the pro-Israel, the one that fights anti-Semitism as Jews, and we support close to 100 organizations in that ecosystem. And there is the ecosystem of the pro-American organization that has nothing to do with Jews, and they want to fight for America. What we do, we identify the good ones, the ones that are willing to collaborate with others, the ones that have open ears.
The good ones, the only good American is the American that will work for Israel. This is just disgusting filth. I guess, I don't know how many Americans are left. I am outraged. This outrages me as an American. This outrages me as a Schroyer whose family has been here since the 1600s. Where are my red-blooded Americans at? Where are my American patriots at? Are you not outraged by this? Is this not extremely offensive? It's like, am I the only one left here? This is sickening.
To hear our ideas, and we fund them. Some of them we fund big amounts, some of them we fund small amount, but even a small amount open the doors. They're listening to donors. They don't want to listen to dogs or barking outside. But once you're a donor, they're listening to you. So we share information, we give them ideas, we make connections, how they can fight back together. We connect the pro-Israel organization with the pro-American organizations. And as we know, there is no silver bullet. And we are really mobilizing and empower many groups to work together for the future of America.
Yeah, this is all about Israel. Now, here's what's funny. Now, this girl here sitting on the right of the screen, I might be mispronouncing her name, but I think it's Carrie's Ray or Carrie's Raya or something like that. And she's called me out multiple times by name on a friend of mine's show, Alex Stranger, who is also Jewish. But so she's gone on his show multiple times and called me out by name right here, which I'm okay with that. And then we attempt to engage in conversation. And I've actually engaged in a conversation with her, and we agreed that we were going to do a show together or a debate, a discussion, whatever. And it's like, okay, we'll do it. We'll do it late January. And she gets back to me and she says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'm going to be in Israel." Now, I laugh because it's just like, exactly. I'm going to be here in America. So, but we'll delay, I guess. We'll delay the discussion or the debate or whatever until you get back from Israel or, working in their interests. But I will say, I don't mind having a disagreement. I don't mind a disagreement, debate. As long as you're operating in good faith, I'm not going to be deceived. And so, yeah, I don't care. Call me out. In fact, I'll tell you right now, I'll go ahead and make another announcement right now for you. I think the date is the 27th. You'll have to get back to me on that. Shabbos Kestenbaum has agreed to debate me. So Shabbos Kestenbaum and I are having a debate later this month. The date, the time has already been decided. I think it's Tuesday, the 27th at 7 p.m. Central. I'll get back to you with those details, but it's already decided. So he called me out the other day on a podcast, and I, called him out too. So it's like, hey, okay, we have a debate. So I tip my cap. Anybody that, hey, I don't mind, call me out. Let's have a debate. Let's have a discussion. I like that. I enjoy that. I think it's good. But I will say this, it's funny to see her up there. She looks totally like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to sit next to this guy while he's saying this stuff. I mean, she does not look very comfortable having to be on the same screen as this guy as he's saying this stuff. I mean, it seems pretty obvious she does not look too comfortable, and she's like, oh my God, this is not a good look. But she's there anyway. I don't know why. I don't know if it's if she gets paid to do it or what. I guess I could ask her. She can prepare for it now. I'm sure she's going to find out about this. Because they're all watching me. They're all watching me, putting me on lists. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But it's too late. It doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter. You guys have already lost the hearts and minds of America. Okay? It's over. There's no amount of deception. There's no amount of money. There's no amount of influence. All of it. It's over. It's done. Americans are America first. Americans are America only. And the vast majority of us literally don't give a rat's ass about the Middle East. In fact, we're so sick of the Middle East, we'd trade the entire thing for a rat's ass. We'd rather have a rat's ass. I'd rather have a rat's ass than the Middle East right now. So it doesn't matter. I'm just here to report the news. And I guarantee you this young lady who I'm going to play this video, I guarantee you this lady's probably never heard of me. She doesn't know who I am. She probably doesn't follow the show, but boy, she figured something out on her own, didn't she? Like most other Americans now that are living paycheck to paycheck and wondering why things are so bad, and they're looking at their government, and they're looking at foreign aid and all this other stuff. Yeah, take that one to the bank. I'd rather have a rat's ass than anything to do with the Middle East. Give me a rat's ass before any other influence or involvement in the Middle East, please. So here's this young lady. She figured it out.
I'm sorry. Let me make sure I have this correct. My child, my 3-year-old child, went without health insurance for like 6 to 8 months this past year because I couldn't afford the health insurance policy under my job because it was going to be like $600 something a month. $600 and something fucking dollars a month for if we got sick. If, right? To keep me from going fucking bankrupt in case an accident happened or some shit, right? I couldn't afford it. You can't just insure your children, right? You have to insure yourself too. Hence the $600 fucking dollars a month, right? I was paying out of pocket nearly $300 every time she got sick. Mind you, she's a toddler in daycare, so she got sick regularly, right? And our fucking administration just proposed a bill to, one, not only allow for protections of IDF soldiers who have dual citizenship. I wonder why the fuck they would need protections, legal protections, right? Not only that, but benefits, military grade benefits, veteran grade benefits in the United States of America for serving in a foreign country. You have got to be fucking shitting me.
And I'll promise you this. There are no amount of Israeli-American councils and conferences and monies and deceptions and propaganda. There is no amount that is going to turn this around. None. Zero, zilch, nada. And I'll also say this as we close out the hour, and I mean this genuinely, because I actually care about people. I actually care about this planet. And I do have a vision for a better world for everybody. I don't care what color your skin is, your religion, anything. I don't care. We're all slaves here. Okay? So I mean this. If you care about Israel and you care about the Jewish people, if you genuinely care about the Jewish people or the state of Israel, you need to get the hell out of our business now. Okay? Okay? This is for your best interest. You need to just leave America alone. We've got our own problems, okay? Our people are disenfranchised. They're discontent. They're teetering on the brink. We've got violent protests in the streets. We can't even get deportations. We can't even get deep state arrests. I'm telling you right now, if you care about Jewish people and you care about the state of Israel, you need to call out Netanyahu. You need to call for a regime change in Israel, and you need to call out all of these different organizations that are using the American people and using our blood and treasure for their own benefit, because it's not helping the Jewish people and it's not helping Israel. And if you don't stop and recalibrate, it's not going to be good for anybody, including Jews and including Israel. It's not going to be good. And for whatever reason, your instincts are telling you the opposite thing. You keep losing. It's like somebody that sits at the blackjack table and keeps losing and keeps doubling down and tripling down and quadrupling down. You guys keep losing and you keep trying the same tactics and you keep losing more and more and more. I'm telling you, if you care about Israel and you care about Jewish people, you need to be looking at Netanyahu and you need to be looking at the actions of the IDF, just like the Knesset is doing, just like IDF soldiers are doing, just like many people in Israel are doing, just like many American Jews are doing. And they're saying, hey, this is not helping us. You're hurting us. So I mean that. I genuinely mean that. Because I do care about people. And I do believe that we can have a better world for everybody, a better country for my people, for American people, certainly. That's really what I care about. But I do care about everybody. I do care about the world. So if you really care and love Israel, and you really care and have concern in your heart for Jewish people, you better realize it's not Americans and their free speech that are causing your problems. It's Benjamin Netanyahu and his regime and what they're doing all over the Middle East and the way they treat American blood and treasure as if their own. That's going to be your biggest downfall. And no matter how many times you double down at this game of poker that you're playing, you're not going to win. You're just going to keep losing. And at the end of this, you know what it looks like. So we're just begging you, just stop. Please, just stop. But at the very least, just leave us out of it.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
Man, guys, we have, we had some instant energy coming in today. We did. And that's because of our friends at blackoutcoffee.com/Owen. And it was funny. I got an email today and they were saying, hey, we really want to push the instant coffee. We're really proud of this product. We think we have the best instant coffee available. So we really want you to push this product. And I'm like, you guys already got me. I've been pushing the instant coffee. It's like all I've been pushing. And I kind of felt bad about it because I'm like, hey, I know, I've tried all your different coffees. I like them. I got the single serve pods. I got a little thing that does the single serve pod coffee as well. They got all the different options, all the different bags, the light roast, the medium roast, the dark roast. They got like 30 different flavors of the single pods. And I keep talking about the instant coffee and they're like, hey, we're really proud of our instant coffee. Can you push this? And I'm like, I'm already there. And it's true, guys. It's true. Now, if you've ever had instant coffee and you're listening to this and you're thinking, I've already tried the instant coffee thing. It's not good. It just doesn't taste good. It's watered down. It just doesn't hit the same. It's not doing it for me, folks. Trust me. This is not like any other instant coffee you've had. It's almost like, I don't know how they do it, honestly. I'm wondering if there's some sort of a magic spell that they're putting over this stuff to make it so good because it tastes like a normal cup of coffee and you can get it instantly. Think about that. To my coffee drinkers out there, does anything sound better than a cup of instant coffee? It's like, hey, I want coffee. Bing, there it is. It's like, you gotta, brew it and get the coffee pot ready and then the filter and everything. It's like, pour it in. It's like, okay, it's a bit of a process. Forget it. Just get your premium instant coffee from blackoutcoffee.com/Owen. And it is premium. Trust me. If you're a coffee enthusiast, a coffee enjoyer, and you're thinking, no, I've tried the instant coffees. It's not good. It's not the same. Trust me. This will not let you down. Premium instant coffee from blackoutcoffee.com/Owen. Blackout Coffee, the official coffee of the Owen Report.
Back to the show with your favorite talk show host, Tits McGee.
All right, guys. We got a lot of stuff coming in hot. A lot of stuff coming in hot. I think we're definitely going to be going. We're going to be going past 3 hours tonight. I don't know. We'll see how long. We'll see how long we go. But we got a lot of stuff coming in hot right now. A lot of stuff still to cover as the clips from the Israeli Council continue to get out. And we just had a statement from Jonathan Greenblatt. Whew. I mean, they don't even hide it, folks. It's just crazy. It's just crazy, man. And it's just like, do they really not get it? Do they really not get it? It's like when I play this clip later, when you hear what Jonathan Greenblatt said today, it's like, dude, are you trying to get Jews hurt? Like, are you trying to hurt Jewish people? And I wonder if it's like this moment for them, because I don't know. I mean, I guess they prioritize Israel more than anything else. I can't relate to that. You can't relate to that. But okay, if that's where they're at, if Israel is their biggest priority, okay, that's their decision. But it's just like, dude, is it like they're trying to force every single Jewish person right now? It's like, you're either with Israel or we're going to just set you up to be victims of anti-Semitic hate crimes. I mean, that's the outrageousness of what Jonathan Greenblatt just said. And I've been saying it for years. I'm like, dude, you think Nick Fuentes causes anti-Semitism? You think Dan Bilzerian causes anti-Semitism? You think Myron Gaines is causing anti-Semitism? Let me tell you, no. Nobody is more responsible for anti-Semitism than Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, Jonathan Greenblatt. Stop kidding yourselves. So we'll play all that. We'll play all that coming up. But we got more of it. We got more of it. And remember, we will, as we always do at the end of the show, we will get to your super chats. So to those that are sending super chats, we just wait till the end of the show, and then we do that. So just be patient with us, and we'll get to the super chats. Still a ton to cover here. This is an Israeli pilot. He resigned. He was part of the IDF. He was a pilot. He was part of the bombing of the Gaza Strip. And so, like many Israelis that were in the IDF, many of them have testified now in front of the Knesset. A lot of them are committing suicide, unfortunately. He went on an interview and he talked about what it was like being a pilot bombing the Gaza Strip. This is pretty amazing stuff.
Acting against the genocide in Gaza today, I am actually reuniting with my great-grandmother Yente that was a victim of a genocide. So this is my duty to try to stop this genocide and make sure that the perpetrators of this genocide, from the top leadership of the government to the lowest ranked soldiers, all of them should be arrested and sent to jail for decades. Now the control of this country is held by Jewish supremacist Nazis that are the worst of the worst. All these countries in the West are taking indirectly part in this genocide. And the fact that they do not stop their participation is the reason that this genocide continues. I started asking myself different questions. Most of them happened during the Second Intifada when I was already an officer. What I started seeing is that the Israeli Air Force is being sent to assassinate people, whether in Gaza, the West Bank, Lebanon. And although I was flying rescue helicopters, so I didn't have to participate in these crimes myself, I started realizing that these are actually acts of terror. It's just shocking to think that the world is just letting it happen again and again.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they're letting it happen. It seems like they're either bought and paid for or even blackmailed. And by the way, what was it called? It's like the Lilyhammer affair or something. I'd never heard of this. I'd never heard of this until it's an older thing. I wasn't alive. It was in the 70s, I believe. Was it the Lilyhammer affair? I'm sure somebody in the chat knows it. It's like the the Lilyhammer affair. When Mossad sent in an assassin to kill somebody, and they ended up killing an innocent person. I think that's what it was. Was that the Lilyhammer affair, guys, or was it something else? They ended up killing an innocent pizza guy. I think it was the Lilyhammer affair. I don't want to spend too much time looking up this, but it's just like they've been doing this for years. It's not even new. It's just crazy. And it's like, you know, I guess I'll say this, and I got more examples, this other clip coming up, but I guess it's like, you know, maybe to put a little context into this, let me just to give it a little context. I've been doing political media really since about 2012, 2013. And I think the real, if there's like, let's say a starting point for me kind of getting into news, politics, current events, it's when I was covering the Ferguson riots, the Mike Brown riots in Ferguson, St. Louis, Missouri. And then I had a political show on YouTube. I had a political radio show in St. Louis. And then obviously, you know, got the job at InfoWars and everything else. And I've just always been a guy that just calls it as I see it. That's what I do. I'm kind of a throwback, really. I'm kind of a traditional broadcaster throwback. There's not many like me. And I think mostly it's because it's hard to do this. And it's not very rewarding. It's all about, you know, shock content, streaming content, you know, street content, all of this other stuff, or AI. Nobody does a 3-hour news show anymore. It's a dying thing. But that's what I do. That's what I like to do. And I think there's an audience for it out there. But throughout this, I used to always hear, oh, he's an Israeli shill. He works for Israel, all this stuff. He never talks about it. He never covers it. And I was just like, whatever. It's just normal attacks in the political media. But it was just never something that was really in my purview. It was never something that I really covered. It was never really something that was, you know, crossing my news desk every day. I'm just covering news, covering current events, what's in front of me. I do political play-by-play. That's what I do. And so now it's just in the news every day. It's in the news every day. It's in my face. The foreign aid, the military aid. And then you go back, you kind of get the historical aspects of it. So I think the reason I say this is I don't think that I'm a unique case here. I think that a lot of Americans just either never covered it, didn't look at it, didn't care about it, whatever. And now it's just so in our face, or we're just anti-war, so we don't like it, that it's like it's in the news every day. You can't even avoid it. And so because of that, there's the response from the Israeli lobby. There's the response from the Israeli loyalists. There's the response from the Israeli digital influence campaigns. It's like, you know, it's a push and it's a pull. So it's like the more Americans are kind of waking up to all of this, then the harder they go. It's back to the doubling down, tripling down. It doesn't matter. They lose every hand and they just keep betting more. So I just call it as I see it, folks. That's all I do. That's all we do. Now, this is, I believe this young guy's name is Mo Khan. I hope I'm getting this right. Mo Khan, I believe is his name. And I've actually thought about, again, I like doing political commentary in a traditional talk show format. That's what I'm professionally trained to do. That's what I like to do. A lot of people, you know, I get it. People like clips. They like AI. They like shock content, street content, whatever. I still believe there's people out there that are looking for, hey, if I'm going to go to work and, you know, play a news show for 3 hours, then I want to be that show for you. But there's this other content where they go on this app. It's called like, what is it called, guys? It's the logo is a monkey, I think. I don't think it's called a monkey app, but I don't know. It's something like that. And basically it's one of these deals where it's like a randomized video conversation, and anybody who's on there, you could link up in a video chat with somebody on the other side of the planet, maybe in your same country, whatever. It's just kind of a randomized thing. You end up talking to random people. So there's a lot of people that do this content. And so Mo Khan here, obviously these girls don't realize what he's doing. But he's landed on these two girls in Israel. Now, he's wearing the shirt that says Noticer. I'm assuming that's because he's not a big fan of Jews. I'm assuming that. I don't know. But I think the whole ploy here is that he's wearing the shirt and then he pretends to be Jewish, because I've seen this before. It's like a big joke. It's a big joke. He wears the shirt that's like, you know, oh, I'm noticing. That's like the phrase when you talk about Jewish influence is, oh, you're noticing. So he's got the noticer shirt, and he goes on these random streams, and he pretends that he's Jewish. And so he says all this stuff, and he gets people to say crazy stuff in response to it. And so that's kind of the joke. That's kind of the context. So he has these two young girls here, and he's talking to them in Israel, and they obviously have no idea that they're being set up here. But he gets them to say some pretty crazy stuff, folks. I mean, he gets them to say stuff that, again, as an American, you should hear this and say, excuse me?
Yeah.
Do you know the Luxemizer? Like, he goes by, what's his name? Clav? I don't know.
Clav? Yeah, I seen him. But you know he's friends with the big.
Doing meth. I don't get it.
He's friends with the biggest anti-Semite, Nick Fuentes.
Who the fuck is Nick Fuentes?
I swear to God.
He looks 16.
That's his whole show. It's called America First, and he just like
he
tries
has a show.
Yeah, that's why he's famous.
Someone gave him a show.
Men need to stop.
He has the most viewers out of anyone in the whole country. Like every night, he has 60,000
You mean
viewers.
it's a podcast? It isn't a show.
He calls it the America
It's not a
First
TV
show.
But it's not it's not on TV. It's like
Oh yeah, but the amount of views it gets, it might as well be on TV. Like
no, but I was scared. I thought like he's like
no, Mark. Do you know Mark Levin and them?
Fallon or something.
No, like all of our Jewish friends, like Mark Levin and like Josh Hammer and all them. They're trying to shut him down. Like they're bringing on like the censorship.
They should just kill him.
You gotta.
Did you hear that? Now, of course, people have showed up at Nick's house. Somebody came up to him at dinner the other night. And, Sneeko had the awareness factor enough to say, okay, we got to shut this down. We can't. That's not going to fly. But folks, these are young girls. I don't know. They look like, high school, college. They're young girls. They say, oh, we should just kill Nick Fuentes. I'm sorry, but this is not a laughing matter. This is not an original thought. This is taught. This is something that is taught in whatever culture she's in here. And I look, I'm just being fair. This is not how every Jew is raised. This is not how every Jewish person is taught to think and behave. Let's be perfectly clear. But clearly, there is something in her upbringing. There is something in her culture where she just says, oh, we should just kill him. Okay, well, first of all, why is that your response to somebody that's content you don't like? But second of all, how can you say that so flippantly? And no, I don't think this is something you can just cast off and say, oh, it's just some goofy thing on the internet. No, I think this is actually revealing of something, folks. And when you look at all the actions of what Israel is doing and the people that think like this, I don't think this is a one-off. I don't think this is an isolated thought. I think this is a culture of thought, actually. Just like you have radical leftists that will run around saying we need to kill Trump or kill Charlie Kirk or all of this other stuff. This seems to be a cultural thing. No, this is, I don't care what you think about Nick Fuentes. This is outrageous.
They're trying to shut him down. Like they're bringing on like the censorship.
They should just kill him.
You got to listen to some of his shows. Like he literally talks about how Democrats are Jews, Republicans are Jews, and he says we control everything. Like he's so like it just.
We're literally like 3% of the whole 2%.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're like such a tiny amount of the whole fucking population.
And
like,
Israel is literally just the size of New Jersey. Like how do we control the world?
Yeah. You think we're gonna be like a small country if we had that much power?
Fucking retarded. And the main thing that they bring up
already, America would have been Jewish if we had that much
take
power.
over Lebanon.
What'd you say about? I don't know anything about Lebanon.
I want to take over Lebanon just for
no. We just talked about like if hypothetically.
Like where are they getting these ideas? These are young girls. I don't think I've ever heard an American girl ever talk like this in my life.
If
if we had like to choose a country in the Middle East that we want? No, that has like a border with us.
Yeah, we just kill people we don't like. Yeah, we just take land we want. What? What is this?
I would choose Lebanon. Like hypothetically,
Probably
like
Egypt.
Lebanon is pretty. No, but I thought about Egypt. I don't want more desert. No more.
Israel is bombing Lebanon.
Desert. How come Israel is a desert? I don't want more desert.
I don't know though, like, because Egypt's more
I
like.
want more snow. I want more winter. I want more trees. I just want more.
All right, fuck it. Why don't we just take over the whole Middle East then? Like, geez, like that's what.
Because I don't want Egypt. No, I do though, because they have like a lot of shit that they don't like open to the public. Like, I want to know all the fucking archaeological.
Well, ultimately, like after we get the whole West Bank and everything, and like Ramallah, then we'll be able to just take over like the rest of them too.
And that is also happening in the West Bank, by the way. I'm going to skip through this. I do end up having all the translated tweets from Israel here on my screen celebrating the train death in Spain, but I already mentioned that, so I'm going to move on for the sake of time. Maybe you've seen this, and I did a little research because I kept seeing these videos pop up on my X feed, and I know it's mostly because of the algorithm, and, you know, I talk geopolitics. I talk about Israel a lot. So these videos in Israel, it's a huge trend right now. They're kicking cats. It's like this new thing on Israel social media to go out and kick cats. You can find this stuff everywhere. And so I'm like, what the hell? Like, what is this about? Why is it a social media trend to kick cats? And anybody that's kind of done a deep dive into how individuals are compromised and how they can get what would normally be a good person, a good individual to commit bad acts, evil acts. One of the entryways into that is to get them to torture animals. And so a lot of times they'll try to, if they have like a really good scientist or doctor or something like that, and they want to get them on their, you know, their team, they'll send them to do some sort of an animal torture thing. And then they'll see, it's like, okay, they like to torture animals or not. And that's kind of the first phase, specifically in the let's say the medical, the doctor, the scientific community. It's like, okay, if you're willing to torture animals, then we can maybe take you to the next level. This is why Dr. Michael Savage left the practice, because they asked him to torture animals and he refused to do it. Whereas somebody like Anthony Fauci really enjoyed torturing the animals. And so there you go. Well, listen to this. It turns out this is a normal thing in Israel. I'd never heard of this before. And I forget the comedian's name that Joe is talking to here, who's hilarious, by the way. I think he's a leftist, or a liberal even, but he really is hilarious. He has hilarious content. I forget his name. But he's really funny. So he was explaining, though, his dad was in the IDF, and he was explaining this to Joe Rogan. Apparently, there's a history of abusing cats over there.
He told me they made his dad do in the Israeli army. What? You raise a kitten, you raise it, you take care of it by yourself, you pet it, and then when it gets to be like a year old, you got to kill it in front of them with your bare hands. Shit. You grab it, snap its neck.
I made it with the kittens. They give you a kitten, you got to raise it for like 2 weeks or a month. I forget. And you got to make sure nothing goes wrong with it. If something goes wrong with it, if it gets sick, you're in trouble. You got to take care of it. In addition to running all your laps and doing everything and doing all your regular chores. And at the end of the 2 weeks, you have to present this healthy kitten. And then once you present a healthy kitten, they go, okay, now snap its neck.
He told me they made his dad do in the Israeli army. What?
It's obvious something. So, okay, so apparently this is a normal thing over there. And if you've ever seen the movie Kingsman, the original one, the first one, that was part of their training, was they have to raise a dog and then they have to kill it. Now, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, it's a good movie. Spoiler alert, if you do want to watch it. Again, final warning, spoiler alert. They fire a blank. So they give them a gun and they say, after you go through your training and you raise this dog, you have to kill it. So they give them a gun. They say, put the gun at the dog's head and kill the dog. And it's a blank. And so they see it. They're seeing if you're willing to kill or not. I don't kill it in the movie, but apparently I guess they actually do it in the IDF, and they make you do it with your hands. You know, I mean, I guess you can understand. It's like, yeah, you know, we need you to be a killer. You're in our military. So if you're not willing to snap this cat's neck, you know, how can we trust you to go, you know, kill the enemy? But anyway, I was like, I'd never seen or heard of that. I was led to that because I see all these videos out of Israel where they're just kicking cats. It's like a new social media trend. So I don't know what that's about. Probably not good karma there, I would say. Jerusalem church leaders condemn Christian Zionism as harmful political ideology. Yeah, it seems like you either go one way or the other with this. So you have the big push that's like, oh, no, it's Christian to support Israel. And then the other push is it's like, no, this is God's new covenant. All the church is Israel, all the people now. It's not, there's no chosen people. Anyway, they get into this in this story, and there's a big push to stop the teachings of Christian Zionism from specifically these churches in Jerusalem. IDF did when they saw this. They moved into the church. They moved in specifically to the Nativity Church and are now going to try to, make sure that anybody that's preaching against Christian Zionism hears from the IDF. So that's good. That's good. So we mentioned this earlier. It sounds like this is Steve Witkoff, who, again, I think Steve is an honest man. I think he's an honest man. And it sounds like in his honesty here, he kind of lets the cat out of the bag that, yeah, the whole plan in Gaza, we knew it long before October 7th.
Okay. Now, this is Jared Kushner being interviewed on 60 Minutes alongside Steve Witkoff, Trump's Middle East envoy and longtime friend of Netanyahu.
Well, part of the plan is the reconstruction, the rebuilding of Gaza. And your builders, tell us more about the plan and how much it's going to cost, where's the money going to come from, and who's going to award the contracts?
And Kushner lets Witkoff answer.
I think it's going to cost a lot of money.
What's a lot of money?
The estimates are in the $50 billion range. It might be a little bit less. It might be a little bit more. Money raising, we think, is the easy part. We think that happens relatively quickly. But it's the master plan. And we're working with a group of people who have been working on master plans for the last 2 years.
So there are plans already.
Witkoff says there's been a plan in place for 2 years. Watch Kushner's face.
Now, keep in mind, this is an older clip. This is from months ago. So the 2 years that he's talking about predates October 7th.
We have plans already. We have a master plan already. And by the way, in Jared's...
And yeah, you can see, I cut off, we'll play it again. You can see Kushner, he's like, dude, what are you doing? Stop saying that. Shut up.
Kushner's face.
We have plans already. We have a master plan already. And by the way, and Jared's been pushing this and we're working together on it. And I think if the world saw the progress so far, they'd be pretty impressed.
The second Witkoff.
So I think that speaks for itself. Okay. I think that speaks for itself right there. So obviously, as Israel is losing the support of the American people, the American youth, what are they going to do? They're going to go into the schools to try to re-indoctrinate you. And it's the same tactics. It's the Holocaust they want you to make sure you know about. But so now the National Education Association is working with the Jewish Council for Public Affairs to make sure that all students know about the horrors of the Holocaust. There it is right there. So that's going to be happening in a week, just to make sure you don't forget. Now, here's Emily Austin. She's like James Bond. She just seems to be everywhere. It's amazing, the access that she gets. She's everywhere. And she was there with Netanyahu when he was talking about his influence team, his digital influence team. And I don't think there's any doubt that Emily is somehow, some way involved in this. And she doesn't hide that, she's a proud Jew and she goes to Israel all the time. But she's everywhere. She gets access to everything. She's like James Bond. She's just in every big event whenever they need her there. And so she's at this event with I Show Speed, who's he's one of the top guys on YouTube, especially with young kids, and he's always going around doing crazy stuff. So she somehow gets access to him at his big event. Again, this is like James Bond. It's like, how do you get this access? But she gets it. And so I don't even know how to properly present this. I mean, it kind of just speaks for itself. We'll play the clips and then we'll do a little commentary. So Emily Austin somehow gets this access to ice speed at his event. And here's how it goes. Wait a second. I forgot to hit the screen share. My apologies. Let me get this up for you. I will start this over.
Your followers are killing me.
Wow.
They're calling me a Zionist.
A Zionist?
Yeah.
The fuck is that?
I was born in Israel.
What did she just say?
I was born in Israel.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
I was born in Israel.
Oh.
And I wasn't born there, but I go in. And they're upset about this.
What?
Zionist is someone that believes that Israel has a right to exist. So now your followers want to kill me.
Oh, she's the victim. They want to kill her now, she says.
So you're a Zionist?
Yeah. Sure.
No, they just don't question it.
Are you not?
No.
Why not?
Why would I be a Zionist?
The Jewish people have a... Your followers are killing me.
Wow.
They're calling me a Zionist.
A Zionist?
Yeah.
The fuck is that?
I was born in Israel. Well, no, I wasn't born there, but I go in. And they're upset about this.
What?
Zionist is someone that believes that Israel has a right to exist. So now your followers want to kill me.
So you're a Zionist?
Yeah. Sure.
No, they just don't question it.
Are you not?
No.
Why not?
Why would I be a Zionist?
The Jewish people have a...
So, again, I don't know what this deal is. It seems like she's sent in there to make a big fuss, play the victim, and then get iShow Speed, who's one of the biggest YouTube creators out there, especially with young kids, to get him to, I guess, be a Zionist or support Israel or whatever. I'm telling you, we don't care. Leave us alone. It's not our fight. It's not our problem. It's not our country. It's not even our region of the planet. It's not in our best interests. Now, I don't know what level of knowledge ISO Speed has on this or not. My guess is he's kind of playing it off, and he does know. But weird commentary. Oh, they want me dead. I'm a Zionist. I was born in Israel. Well, actually, no, I wasn't. But they want me dead. Aren't you a Zionist? We just want to exist. All right, go exist. So she gets the access. She does what I guess is her job. I don't know what it's like. How do you get this access? What are you doing there? So here's what happens afterwards. So yeah, send the plastic face, fake blonde in there to do the job. And so here's what happens afterwards. So she's like, oh, follow me on social media and everything. And the conversation continues. And at the end of this, what you're going to see is he unfollows her.
All right. Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Peace out, Emily. Peace out. All right.
Hey, respect. You're not a simp. You are a good man. Thank you. You're a good boy. Thank you.
Why's my mom calling?
Oh, you're a good boy. You're a good boy.
Me, bro.
And then he unfollows her. Oh man, I guess you won't get that bonus. Oh. Almost had the good boy. He's a good boy, isn't he? Give him a little pat on the head. Yeah, you support Israel. Yeah, you. Look at my plastic face and my fake blonde hair. Oh, yeah. So ridiculous, man. Honestly, God, you just leave us alone, man. I'm telling you. It's like the same thing. It's like, oh, you don't want Americans involved in your business. You don't want Americans involved in telling you to stop bombing Gaza. You don't want Americans to tell you to stop bombing 7 different countries. You don't want Americans to tell Israel how to run its business. Of course, you want our money and you want our military support, but you don't want our opinions. You want us to leave it up to you, but you won't leave us alone. It's like you just can't leave us be. You just can't leave us out of it, but you don't want us involved. You just want us to be there to support you. Crazy. So here's Debbie Wasserman Schultz. who I'm a little concerned about. Something seems wrong with her legs, okay? Something seems really wrong with her legs. But what's even more wrong is what she says here.
We have a problem generationally, whether they're Republicans or Democrats or independents. The next generation of Americans, the next generation coming up behind us, does not understand the importance of a strong Israel, an Israel that should always remain a Jewish and democratic state. And they don't understand that we as a people have contributed boundless significance and impact in countries across the globe. Anti-Semitism is growing, and there are young people who believe that the Holocaust never happened, an astonishing percentage, that it wasn't 6 million, that it was a number far fewer. We have to make sure that we are creating educational opportunities and bringing young people together across the divide, cultures and religion, to make sure that we don't have a generation, as we lose our Holocaust-era survivors, that we don't have a generation that believes that there is something wrong with the Jewish people and who fosters instead of fights anti-Semitism. That's a commitment we all have to make to one another and reach across the divide in many different cultures and communities. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. But please, never, you need to cover your legs whenever you're out in public, and maybe at home too. But that's up to you and your family. But please cover the legs. There's some sausage, something happening there. Some sausage meat there, some sausage legs. Okay, so, this thing happened so long ago that they're all dead, but we still need to make sure that it still influences every decision we make and, manipulates the youth. So they know, folks, they know Israel is losing support of the American people. Younger generations are done. They don't want anything to do with it. So they're doing everything they possibly can to keep the financial aid and the military aid continuing, despite the Americans losing their way of life. But it's so funny. It's so funny to hear this because, we always hear this as Americans, specifically as white Americans. We always hear this. Oh, you didn't build that. Slaves built that. Oh, you didn't build that. Israel and Jews built that. What? Israel wasn't even a country. Now, and this is sometimes an unpopular opinion, but no, I actually say, you want to talk about heritage Americans? Yeah, Black Americans fought in the Revolutionary War. Black Americans fought, more specifically, Black Americans fought in the Civil War. So let's just be perfectly clear. Black Americans do have a heritage in this country. They did contribute to the most important times in this country's history. They did. Okay, so, but this concept that, whites and blacks didn't build America, it was Jews. What are you talking about? What is this propaganda? So I put it like this. Blacks and whites fought for America to exist as a sovereign nation. And then we fought with Mexicans or Hispanics, Latinos, however you want to put it. Then we fought with Mexicans, Hispanics, and Latinos for the country. And so they have a stake here too. And now here comes Debbie Wasserman Schultz saying, you need to know about the Holocaust. You need to know about how important Israel and Jews were. What are you talking about? Blacks and whites fought for this country, and then they fought with Hispanics for this country. What are you talking about? You guys have been fighting Arabs and Muslims for 3,000 years on the other side of the planet. What are you talking about? It's insane. But it's funny because that's what we hear. It's like, oh, no, whites, you did nothing. Everybody built it but you. Immigrants built it. Blacks built it. Jews built it. Whites built it. And the heritage Americans are whites and blacks and Hispanics. Those are the heritage Americans that have spilled blood and treasure in this country. That's who did it. Sick and tired of this crap. I don't go over to Israel and tell you how to run your business, and I have no interest in doing so. So stop doing it here. Either you're an American and you care about American interests, or you don't. It's that simple. Stop dragging us into the Middle East. Stop dragging us into your 1,000-year-old holy war. We are done. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Let's take a deep breath. That one got your attention, huh? That got your attention, huh? Well, I just don't like that. I'm not a big fan of Debbie Wasserman Schultz, that lying lizard freak and her sausage legs. That one got you fired up. All right, so the drama of Boys Night Out continues. I can't believe this. The drama of Boys Night Out continues. And look, it wouldn't even be a thing. It wouldn't even be a thing. It would be another live stream that just did good numbers and was fun and funny, whatever, or offensive, however you take it. It would have just been another live stream that was, shocking or funny or horrendous, however you want to interpret it. It would have just come and gone like anything else. But they made such a big deal of it. So now it's turned into like this pinnacle moment, and it's turned into this directional youth culture moment. So I'm going to play you these news clips, and then I've got Sneeko and I've got Clav responding here. And I know Andrew Tate offered a response, and he's kind of backing off of it. And I guess they're kind of giving him a hard time. But really, if you watch the video, you can tell that Tate is kind of uncomfortable the whole time. I mean, it's kind of obvious. And, I mean, it makes sense. I think he was the oldest one there. He's like almost 40 now. I don't think he's 40 yet, but he's almost 40. And it's like, yeah, he's probably over that whole lifestyle. And he was kind of like, yeah. So you can tell if you're watching it that Tate was always kind of like, But whatever, he was there. So he's kind of backed it off a little bit today. And then I've got Sneeko and I've got Clav. And then I know Fuentes has just done so many interviews since then, it's hard to pinpoint, and say, oh, this is what he says. So I'm going to play this local news report, and then we'll hear from Sneeko and Clav, who I think are they're the youngest of those. I think they're the youngest in the crowd. But see, now it's a directional thing. Now it's like this pinnacle directional moment that shows you where this is going. So let's first go to this is the local media reporting on it.
People laughing and
celebrating. They're censoring it. They're censoring Heil Hitler from the live from the local media here. This is hilarious. Yes, they're censoring it. I mean, the smut they put on TV, the violence, the sex, the degeneracy, but that they censor.
People laughing and celebrating Heil Hitler and Adolf Hitler. I cannot believe we're even seeing this and witnessing Miami Beach.
A Miami Beach nightclub.
I mean, this couldn't be more stereotypical, guys. I mean, come on. What is this? Dave Portnoy's dad, by the way? I mean, this is ridiculous.
People laughing and celebrating Heil Hitler and Adolf Hitler. I cannot believe we're even seeing this and witnessing Miami Beach.
We killed Hitler. We won the war. Like, what are you talking about? This is World War II. We won. Russia defeated the Nazis. The Union, the allies of Russia and the United States, won World War II. We beat the Nazis. What are you bitching about?
A Miami Beach nightclub catching heat, accused of celebrating hate with a song about Hitler.
Absolute disgust. Disgusted, horrified.
City leaders reacting to videos making the rounds on social media featuring the Kanye West song with the lyrics Heil Hitler over and over again. The same men seen in the club known as...
Hey, wait a second. Why is she allowed to say it? Why is she allowed to say it? But they bleep out the video. Why is she allowed to say it? How does that work?
As controversial influencers are also in a video from a limo. In that one, there's...
Oh, controversial influencers. I mean, this is hilarious. Miami is like the hub of internet whores. Literally. And, oh, where's the complaining about that? Where's the complaining about turning young women into internet hookers? It's like, oh, no, we need to bleep this video. This is the worst thing ever. Oh.
Singing, and one of them is performing a Nazi salute.
Yeah. They literally trolled you. They literally trolled you. They literally baited you. You are responding exactly how they wanted you to respond. That was the entire purpose of playing the song. That was the entire purpose of doing the live stream of them playing the song. You literally fell right into their trap. You're so easy to trigger. You're so easy to bait. You're so easy to troll. And you fell right into their trap.
Have people in our city celebrating this. Animals.
This is obviously not welcome in Miami Beach. It should not be welcome anywhere in the world.
And by the way, I spoke to other club operators. They are not welcome in their club. How they got into this club? Oh,
yeah, but you guys don't run anything. But then whenever you guys want to, you can make sure that all the stuff you run, they don't get access to. Oh, nice.
Open arms. I want to know how.
The videos are from...
By the way, people have been fired over this. They fired employees and they found out who played it and all this other stuff. And now it's a whole thing in Miami. They ban the song. They ban all these guys.
Saturday night, this one inside the Club Vendome at 743 Washington Avenue. The club releasing a statement on social media that reads in part, "We want to be unequivocally clear. Vendome and our hospitality group do not condone anti-Semitism, hate speech, or prejudice of any kind." It goes on to state, "We are deeply disturbed by the harm..."
Oh, but when Randy Fine or Laura Loomer or anybody else talks about how they want all Muslims dead and they want Muslims banned from America, banned from Congress, all of that, like that's good.
Caused by this incident and the circulation of this footage. The Post explains the business is looking into safeguards and procedures to make sure this doesn't happen again. As for the men in the video celebrating the song, the mayor has this message.
It's disgusting, it's shameful, and you are not welcome in Miami Beach.
And the club...
You're not welcome in... We don't run anything, by the way. We don't run anything. We have no institutional power. But by the way, you're banned from all the stuff that we own in the city. And actually, you're banned from the city, too. Oh, that seems a little, how would I say that? Ironic?
The owners of the club or the management of the club also said in the statement that they are working to determine who allowed that song to be played so that they can be held accountable. We're live in Miami Beach. Jessica Holly, 7 News.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you. Very good. Very good reporting. Now go do the report on the members of Congress and local media that want all the Muslims dead and banned from the country, right? Oh, no. The song. The song is the problem. Mm-hmm. Go do the report on all the internet hookers that have taken over Miami and make tens of millions of dollars and are influencing young girls to be sluts and whores. You know, now it's time for the report on that. No, we run that company. We run that industry too. Okay, we'll cancel that report. All right. Yeah. So I want to go to Sneako's response. I want to go to Clav's response. I think how many, yeah. All right. We're definitely going into overtime today. So here's, I want to give Sneako's full response here. It's about 3 minutes. And go to Clav's and we'll kind of finish this out, hit some odds and ends and get to the super chats as we go into a 4th hour here. But here's Sneako's response.
Let's talk about what the song's all about. And first off, I want to say the title of this is I'm Sorry. And obviously I'm not sorry to anybody. It's a fucking song and this is America. We have free speech. We're not hurting anybody. Played some music and went to the club. I'm not sorry. Get your fucking panties out of a bunch. You'll be okay. You're welcome for all your hit pieces and all your videos and all your articles. You got some content. We act, they react. And at the end of the day, that song is just a song. And did innocent people die in World War II? Yeah, millions from all nations, from all over the world. A lot of people were affected by it. 1, it's history, 100 years ago. 2, I'm seeing so many people who are so angry about the fact that we listened to a song They were all quiet when the genocide happened for the past 2 years. After October 7th, all these people didn't say a word. They promoted it. A lot of them took $7,000. They even had Netanyahu on their podcast. Aaron Steinberg, my friend, Steiny, maybe he's not my friend, I don't know. He tweeted.
And for a little context, apparently he had a phone call. I might be misunderstanding this, but it's my understanding he had a phone call with Steiny, and he said, I'm not your friend anymore.
Trying to get Vendome to be brigaded by 1-star reviews. And it's like, bro, you just had Benjamin Netanyahu on your podcast. He's literally committing a genocide. He was for the past 2 years. War criminal, wanted all over the world, broke international law. You had him on your show, on your podcast without any pushback. You talked about McDonald's and Burger King. Regulated? Why is social media regulated? This is so, I'm just like you. Letting him control our country from the inside out. And then you want to get like a club. You want to ruin a club because they played a song you didn't like. That's pretty ridiculous. I saw him delete the tweet. So I'll talk to Aaron Steinberg about that. But I just think it's ridiculous because yes, innocent people died in World War II, but every song that you play in the club, why don't you have to see any clubs apologize when they glorify killing innocent people in Chicago or in New York City? The gang violence. Every single song you hear in the club is glorifying violence. Every single song from a female rapper is about shaking ass and being a whore. Is about wet ass pussy, not cooking, not cleaning, shooting the op block, getting it back in blood, up in pole. Every song is about killing innocent black people. And on MLK Day, it's like, let's put this into context. You're mad because I listened to a song that was talking about World War II, right? Something happened 80 years ago, almost 100 years ago. You go to the club and you turn up and listen to all the music that's glorifying violence happening right now. Right now. All the people that are condemning, writing articles, all of them are promoting and siding with the genocide that happens today in 4K. The most publicly televised genocide of all time. You don't see people up in arms about that. You don't see the mayor of Miami writing a think piece about that, and clubs don't have to apologize, but they have to apologize for this song.
Yeah, and I mean, who produces the gangster rap industry? Who produces the internet whore industry? So here's Clav. This is a lot shorter. This one will take just 30 seconds here. This is the response. So Sneeko gets a little more contextual there. But here's the response from Clav.
You're banned from all Miami fancy clubs? Yeah, I do it again, man. I do not apologize for what I did. You can ban me from clubs. You can shit talk me on Instagram, but I'm not sorry about any of it. Not at all. Not even a little bit. Fuck the clubs. I would rather have free speech and the ability to make jokes and do content 1,000 times over rather than being a little bitch who, has to censor himself and do all that shit. Because if that's what's required to go into these dog shit Miami clubs, then keep me the fuck out. You're banned from all my.
Now, I want to say a couple things here. One, you have to understand, this is the direction, folks. These kids don't give a damn. They don't care about your delicate sensibilities. They don't care about your, this ism, that ism. They don't give a damn. And you're only making it worse by pushing against it. You're only making it worse. So this now becomes this moment for the youth of a big, giant middle finger. That's what it's become now. And who do you think is more popular, by the way? The mayor of Miami Beach, the owner of these clubs, or Clav, who's like one of the hottest things in the social media world right now, and Sneeko, who's been massively successful for years now? Like, who do you think's winning over the youth here? Who do you think's winning the culture war here? It's not even close. You're getting trounced. And these young kids don't care. And, I'll just say this too, for whatever it's worth. And I obviously I've talked to, when you talk about all those guys in the van, I've talked to, I think, everybody. I don't know, I would say I'm friends with them, but I've talked to all of them or almost all of them, or I've met all of them before, except Clav. I think he's 19. And, I would just say this to Clav. I know what it's like to be 19 and feel invincible. And you just got to be careful, man, because when you're young and hot like that, you can fly too close to the sun and you can burn your wings and have a hard crash, brother. And, I think that, and I don't know what he wants to do with his life. I don't know if he ever anticipated he would become so big. But I would say, you have now. And everything you do and every decision you make will impact the rest of your life and the influence you have over young men. So again, I don't know if he ever wanted to be a role model. He wants to be a looks maxer. So I guess in kind of, that's kind of some way a role model, I guess, physical appearance for whatever it's worth. But if I were him, or if I could give him any advice, I would really refocus and recalibrate myself to actually, because here's what you have to realize, and this is my mindset. You have to be the best version of you that you can possibly be. You have to. Especially if you're going to enter this arena of controversy, criticism, all this stuff. And you know what's going to come for you. You know what's going to come for you. And the only thing that you have control of is yourself. Yourself, your health, and what you project onto the world. And so you have to be the best you can be. You have to be the best example possible as the human being that you want to be as an example. Because when they all come for you, it's you. That's you. That's you. What are they going to look at? Who are they looking at? Who are they looking at? Who are they talking about? And if you have any weaknesses, I'm not talking about things that you say that are controversial. It's decisions you make. You have to be untouchable. You have to be smarter. You have to be faster. You have to be healthier. And if possible, you have to be purer. These are things you don't really realize as a young man, as a teenager. You're feeling invincible. You're feeling unbeatable. You're feeling high. So you don't really have that experience. And as I was watching some of that stuff, I didn't really see any other men kind of trying to, they're talking about women and dating and other stuff like that. It's fun. It's talk, but it's just like, I didn't really see him getting any good advice. And a lot of those guys are young men anyway. And that wasn't really the point of their content that night. But no, I look at Clav, and yeah, he's controversial and maybe sometimes you might think cringy, but it's just like, hey, you've just been given a golden opportunity. You've built something that you probably never thought that you could build. You've garnered this attention and this influence that you probably could have never even thought possible. But you're here now. So if you want to win, if you really want to win, whatever that means to you, you have to be the best you can be in all walks of life. Because they're coming for you, man. And you're not backing down. So if you want to win, you have to recalibrate everything right now. You have to rethink everything right now. And you have to be better than the people that are going to come for you. And you might already say, hey, I'm better looking. That's not as valuable as you think, brother. You need to be smarter. You need to be faster. You need to be wiser. You need to be as pure as you can possibly be. Because this stuff can catch up to you like that. And if you want to win this culture war, you have to turn yourself into something more now. Something more. Now, this is some model that I guess goes and does, modeling at these clubs or whatever. So here's what she said in response to all of this. A model, a promoter, if you've been to that, if you know that world, they have, they have hot girls that run around, try to get you into the club or bring you into the club and whatever. So here's what she says. She says, as a model and promoter who worked with all these groups in New York and Miami, I can testify to this. They drag to parties underaged girls. I have met 13-year-olds. as the door guys know and don't care and feed them drugs and alcohol. Anything from coke to Molly, etc. Girls are so messed up for days with zero sleep. Of course, they have intercourse with these girls too. I've ditched the industry because it was so disgusting. So these are the people that ban him? They should check themselves out. I stand by this. You can screenshot, and I don't care. Now, she doesn't do too good of a spell check here, but I will say if she consulted a lawyer with this, she's probably cleared of anything else, but she might want to go into court. She stands by it. Here's the gal. Now, this isn't going to be too surprising to anybody that's been introduced to this lifestyle. But, yeah. Pretty interesting, isn't it? And it's actually funny, as an aside here, before we take the third break, and we'll come back. We'll take a break, and we'll come back. We'll go into a fourth hour here. This was actually one of my biggest stories. If there was ever my first, viral moment as a member of the media, it would have been, I want to say 2011. It had to be 2011 because that's when I was first on the radio. I could go back and check, but there was a big recruit. I don't want to say the names. I'm not going to go into the details. Some people might know, but there was a big recruit, a big football player, and I still had my connections into the Mizzou world, into the Columbia world. I knew, I knew the people in that party world. I was, I was like the Van Wilder for a couple years, so I still had my people there, but I was in media now. And I was living in St. Louis on the radio, and I got a little tip. From somebody in the industry, and they said, hey, that top recruit football player, he's at the club, and he's getting bottle service. And there's some women that are enticing him. So, you catch my drift. They bring the top football recruit out. They, schmooze him with women and fun times. So I took that to air. And oh my God, I didn't anticipate the hell that would break loose, folks. I was a young guy. I was just getting started as a professional in media, and I'm like, oh, I got a little exclusive here. I'll bring it to the show. All hell broke loose after that because nobody was supposed to know. But come on. We all know.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
All right, guys. Limited time left from our friends at My Patriot Supply for this winter emergency preparedness package. Okay, now you can see this limited time offer and everything that comes along with it at mypatriotsupply.com/Owen. You can see the emergency food, the water filtration, everything else. But here's what's so cool about this, and this is why really you need to think about this. Maybe you have emergency food, maybe you don't. If you don't, you're not going to get a better deal. But here's what comes in this emergency supply package, specifically built for winter. That is have you heard of this yet? The Vesda off-grid heater. The Vesda off-grid heater. Now, why is this such a big deal? Why am I telling you about the Vesda off-grid heater? Because it's a space heater that doesn't use electricity and doesn't use propane. It runs on something they call canned heat, an indoor safe fuel. So think about it. The power goes out in the winter. How are you going to heat your home? Or how about this? How are you going to cook your food? The Vesda space heater doubles as a stove to cook your food. Indoor safe space heater and doubles as a stove to cook your emergency food with. It doesn't get much better than that. So right now, you can get the Vesda space heater and a bunch more preparedness gear in this winter survival kit from mypatriotsupply.com. Just go to mypatriotsupply.com/Owen to see everything included. And this is supposed to expire at the end of the month, folks. This is supposed to expire at the end of January. That's when this deal expires, okay? So this is not going to be around forever. Great to get emergency food if you don't have that. If you want to get some more, plus the Vesda space heater, now's the time before this special is gone. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Owen and take care of all your emergency preparedness needs.
It's the fastest 3 hours on the internet. It's the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
It's 4 hours. It's 4 hours. We're going into hour number 4 tonight. A little overtime, a little bonus time. You stuck around. We were a little clunky to start today, and we were a little late. So why not give you a little bonus for sticking around? Why not give you a little bonus? We will get to your super chats, guys. We will get to the super chats. I think what we'll do, though, I've got a little bit more as far as the prepared content. And I think maybe I'll save some of the stuff that broke since we got on air, the Jonathan Greenblatt and the other stuff that broke since we got on air. I think I'll save some of that for tomorrow. We'll save some of that. We'll save some of that for tomorrow. That way we can take plenty of time with the super chats, and I don't feel like I need to rush through them. So we'll just go with what we already have prepared. We'll just do that. All right. All righty. How about that? Yeah, I guess, because if you're tuning in, you're like, well, you're usually off by 6 o'clock Central. It's now over 7. We started an hour late today, taking care of some other business, some legal stuff, some other stuff. So we said we're not taking the day off, but we'll just start an hour late. Hey, check this out. This is David Barnea, claims to be the director of Mossad, this account. Now, who really knows? But anyway, it's reposting cat turd. Cat turd getting reposted by the director of Mossad. I don't know. That's funny, though. That's funny. Now, here's Myron Gaines. Now, there's something interesting about this. And maybe, because here's what happens, guys. Here's what happens. I don't even know how I want to present this, because I don't want you to misinterpret this. Because anybody that's listening or watches my show knows that I'm really the same guy. You're getting me. I'm Owen Schroyer. This is me. It's nobody else. And I'm the same guy. I'm the same guy. You meet me at a bar, a concert, a ball game, whatever. I'm the same guy. I'm still the same guy. You're gonna be like, oh, it's you. It's like, yeah, it's me. But there is this consumer interpretation when you're in the media, where it's kind of like, since you only get this limited scope of somebody, or you only see clips, or you only see what they do when they're doing a live stream or a show, that it kind of becomes this like, you don't really know who they really are. You don't really understand who they really are. And you kind of think it's like, oh, this is who they are. And that happened to me actually one time when I was, we'll do a little story time. Why not? We're in overtime. When I was hosting my show, I had a 9 to midnight show at a radio station in St. Louis. It was my first radio show. I produced a bunch of radio shows. I was on the air and doing other work, but it was my first solo radio show that I had total control over everything. And I ran the whole thing just like this. I ran the whole thing, no help, did all the production, all the stuff. It was called the Nuclear Fire Show. Some of you may remember that, the Nuclear Fire Show. It's all been nuked. It's all gone now. They totally erased it. I think I might have some archive somewhere here on a computer, but so it was the Nuclear Fire Show, and I was way more branded that way, where I did more rants, I did more intense, extreme stuff. It was kind of a brand, like the Nuclear Fire Show. Like I wanted to kind of lean into that. And the name of the station at the time was called The Extreme. And so it was kind of like the brand of the station. It was like the extreme local radio station. So they had all kinds of controversial people on there. And so I was kind of like the closer, but the politics version. It's like they had people that talked about, sex and dating and other stuff like that. I did the political one, but I got really hot and heavy, and but it was like, that was the brand, is Extreme Nuclear Fire Show. So we're in there one night, and it's probably like 8 o'clock or something. I'm waiting for my time. They got a little lounge, and these other hosts would always have They'd always have guests and parties in there. But I'd be prepping for a show. So they had this lounge, and I'm sitting in there, and I'm just waiting for my time slot, and I'm watching a ball game on the couch, and I think I'm kind of nodding off. I'm like in and out of sleep, but I'm just sitting there lounging, chilling. And all these guys are over here partying, and someone comes over, and I think like they don't see me or something, and they sit down and they're about to change the channel. Like, oh, sorry, didn't see you there. I'm like, oh, no problem, whatever. And I'm being a nice guy, and they're like, oh, who are you? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh yeah, Owen Schroyer, host of the Night Show. And they're like, wait a second. They're like, that's you? Like, that's you? You're the guy that yells? I'm like, yeah, that's me. And they were like stunned. They were like, oh my gosh, you're so much different than the guy on the radio. This is crazy. You're like a normal guy. I'm like, yeah, I kind of do an extreme thing. It's the nuclear fire show, whatever. So anyway, the point is, I'm about to play this clip from Myron Gaines. And, I've met Myron. I've hung out with Myron. And I think, all of these people that talk trash, you probably like him, guys. He does content. He does his show. He has his shtick, whatever. He's good at it. He's really good at it. He's really successful with it. He's built a successful brand. But it's like, you don't really know him. And it's like, I've met so many of these guys that there's this interpretation of who they are. It's like there's this interpretation that you get through the lens of the media, through the internet, through the show. And it's like, oh, I've got him figured out. I know what he is. I know who he is. And you're just totally wrong. You're just totally wrong. So I see Myron gets a lot of that. Now, he would probably admit he does it to himself with the content that he does. But it's like, you guys, he's not, it's like, oh, he's a jerk. He's this, he's extremist. He's like, no, he's really not. He's really not. We ought to dinner. I don't even know. We barely even talked politics. There was nothing extreme about it. Just had a normal conversation, whatever. So he kind of gets this interpretation of who he is because of the content that he does. And, the things that he says to women or, and I'm not saying he doesn't believe that. I'm not saying he's not genuine. He does. He is that guy. But I'm saying there's like this interpretation when you see somebody or you see this limited access of somebody whose show you watch or something. And it's like, no, you just have him totally misunderstood. You just have him totally misunderstood. And I've actually dealt with that too with people that I've met. And they're like, oh, I thought you would be like this. I thought you would be like that. So this stuff happens. Now, again, Myron, he knows what he's doing here. So, but anyway, so this is a clip from Myron's most recent, I believe this is his most recent stream. And, he gets into it with, I guess this is a transgender student, something going on there. And so here's how it goes.
You literally did a Nazi salute. You began this whole thing of saying you're Nazi.
Yes, brother. Dude.
What the fuck? Get this fucking Nazi off our campus. Dude, what the fuck? Do that again? Wait, do that again so we can take a picture of you. Put down your mask. Let's see your face. What are you afraid of? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Wait, how many Nazis do we have here?
So it's like, bro.
What the hell?
Dude, I don't know if you realize you're at a Klan rally. So, anyway.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Are y'all hearing this?
See, look at him. He's all shocked. Oh, my God.
He's literally black.
Oh, God. Yeah, see, this is what not giving a fuck looks like.
No, this is why we should kill Nazis. Okay. Nazis deserve exactly what they get. Or I guess what they put in the world. So
this is the big takeaway. Oh, we should just kill Nazis. Folks, do you understand what happens here? Now, of course, they called Charlie Kirk a Nazi. He's dead. And I do have an update on that. And I don't believe the official narrative, but I'm just trying to put things into perspective here. You need to understand what they do. And it's the woke left, and now it's the woke right. They literally just call you a Nazi to justify hurting you or killing you. That's what they do. That's their justification. Oh, the Nazis are the worst ever. So therefore, you're a Nazi, so we have the right to kill you. That's what they do. You understand that? That's how they justify the harm that they want to do to you, or even their wishing of death upon you, or actually killing you. They call you a Nazi to justify killing you. So just understand that when you start to see this stuff perpetuate in these conversations. Somebody that wants to just call everybody a Nazi, they probably just want to kill you. What I find even more ironic, Nazis are National Socialists. Isn't that what you guys are? The Democrat Socialists? Aren't you politically Nazis? Aren't you politically National Socialists? Like, isn't that your whole thing? Huh. I guess it's not worth getting into a political lecture here with them. Oh, did you see this? This is hilarious. Folks, you understand that these liberals, it's the woke left and the woke right. It's amazing. They have a lot of things in common. They literally just make stuff up. They just make it up. It's like beyond a lie. It's like if you're lying, there's something there. Like there's something substantial that you're lying about. So there's like a groundwork for you to lie. These people just make stuff up. They just completely fabricate things that never happened, never existed. There's no baseline. They just totally make stuff up. So this is, what's this lunatic's name here? Pam Grier. She goes on The View and she just makes something up. Now, look, obviously the ladies on The View are not, they're not too well versed in American history, so they couldn't spot check this. But anybody that has a general understanding of American history knows this woman just made this story up. Listen to this.
Faced a lot of racism growing up in Columbus, Ohio. How did that shape you?
Whew. Well, the military wouldn't allow Black families to live on the base, so you had to live in an apartment, and you couldn't take a bus. You couldn't afford a car. You walked. Your dads walked to the base, and sometimes we would go from tree shade to get back to the apartment. My brother and I, my mom, with bags, and my mom would go, "Don't look, don't look, don't look." And she'd pull us away because there is someone hanging from a tree. And they have a memorial for it now.
So now you have to wonder if any of this is true. Folks, she was born in 1948. The last lynching in Ohio happened in, I think, 1913. And she's out here claiming that she was walking around Ohio as a kid while people were being lynched and hung, which is a total and complete lie. Do you understand these people lie about anything and everything? These are despicable scumbags. And they lie because they want to deceive you and trick you. Demons, deceivers walk among us, folks. And listen, and this is why she does it. As she makes up this story that she had to walk around with people being lynched, a total lie, listen to the audience.
Because there is someone hanging from a tree.
Totally made up. And she just deceived all of them, and she got off to it because something is wrong with her. Something is deeply disturbed with her. I wonder how you ever recover from that. Never heard of her until today, ironically. Hope I never hear of her again. So Tina Peters, still in jail, unfortunately. This is a video. Here's Tina right here, Gold Star mother, American patriot. Actually stood against the election being stolen and is in prison because of it. Unfortunately, it's so sad, so tragic. I'd rather invade that prison. I'd rather send the military into that prison to free her than to go get Maduro. But nonetheless, so apparently she's getting harassed in there now. And I wonder if somebody's putting them up to it. But apparently she's getting harassed in there now. And here she is getting harassed by this lady. Apparently it's happening regularly now, and she's getting assaulted. And you can see here, she's old. I think she's in her 70s or 80s. It's just sick, man. Free Tina Peters. Bless her heart. Bless her heart. All right, here's the development in the Charlie Kirk assassination story. Erica Kirk requests speedy trial for Tyler Robinson, accused of killing her husband, Charlie Kirk. Kirk's attorney claimed in the court filing that Robinson's attorneys have been delaying proceedings. Now, look, folks, I've said my piece, and I'm not going into the weeds on this. I don't even like to get into the whole Candace Owens stuff. I've already said my piece on that. To me, it looks like Candace Owens is winning in that, but I'm not too invested. I'm not going to sit here and make a bunch of claims. But I will, from just following the news, and that's what we're doing here. We're just following the news. I want to give you a little context here. Now, the whole story that he has confessed has now fallen apart. Okay? Because none of this would matter. If he confessed, none of this would matter. Right? So the whole he confessed thing looks like it either never happened or they don't, I don't know. The whole he's already confessed thing seems to be like either it never happened or somebody made it up or I don't know. So just add that now to the list of sketchiness on the day of and then what led to him being arrested. So apparently there is no confession. Why are they saying it's being delayed? Well, apparently some of the prosecutors had family that were in the audience that day. And so the defense is saying there's a clear bias here. There's a direct bias from the prosecution because they're directly involved in this case. Now, I don't know what, to me, I see this and I'm like, a speedy trial to me in this regard is you want this thing wrapped up. You got something and you don't want this to come out. You want this thing wrapped up. That's what it sounds like to me. That's my interpretation of this because what do you need a speedy trial for? If you have the confession and you have the case and it's all signed, sealed, and wrapped up and delivered, then it's like, then you have the case. Now, obviously, the defense, they want to delay it. This is all standard stuff. But, I mean, I don't know. What do you think? If you saw that the prosecution had family that was in the audience that day, do you think that's reason to dismiss some of the prosecution? So that's their argument. And I don't know. I look at this and I'm just like, folks, I'm not convinced of anything. I'm still not convinced of anything here. And the only thing I remain convinced of with all of it, with all the noise, with everything, the only thing I'm still convinced of is that we are being lied to. And that I don't believe that Tyler Robinson took the shot. That is the only thing I'm convinced of at this point. All the other stuff and conspiracy theory and drama and back and forth and all of that, I'm not getting into that. When there's news here, we cover it. To me, it doesn't matter. I'm convinced that we're being lied to. I'm convinced it was not Tyler Robinson. Not that there's not something there and he wasn't involved in something. I think he was involved in something, but I don't think he took the shot. But now it's like, oh, we want to race to get this thing wrapped up. Not a good look for somebody out there that might be skeptical, in my eyes. In my eyes. So did you see this? No MAGA for Ludacris. Ludacris stands up and drops out of 2026 Rock the Country tour. Nelly remains on the lineup. So I don't know. So Ludacris and his agents are saying, oh, he was put on this by accident. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know how you end up on a major tour by accident. I think Ludacris probably agreed to do it. And then these radical leftists came after him and said, no, you can't be out there with Kid Rock. And so he dropped out. Now, Ludacris is somebody who's gone on stage in a Confederate flag before. Ludacris is somebody who usually says, F you, I don't give a damn. But for whatever reason, it looks like this one got to him. Not Nelly, though. Nelly said, screw you, I'm still performing with Kid Rock. And Nelly performed, I believe, at a inauguration party for Trump, too. I think maybe even the official inauguration party. Now, that's because Nelly is a great American from St. Louis, Missouri. He ain't taking that shit. He ain't backing down. Come on, Luda. Come on, Luda from Atlanta. Come on, stand up for Atlanta. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's the pressure from Atlanta that hates Trump. To me, I'd say screw him. But he's decided he's not going to be a part of it. I mean, you could argue Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta might be the best. I think the best rappers, maybe for my taste, came out of Atlanta. But that's a knock. That's a knock. And the St. Louis rapper said, no, I ain't backing down. Screw that. I'm performing. So there you go. How many out there like the show Landman? I hear about this a lot, this show Landman. And I guess it has kind of a right-wing conservative bent to it. So there were these rumors that Billy Bob Thornton was going to quit. And I guess it was like directional, like, oh, because it's too right-wing, it's too conservative, whatever. It's conservative propaganda. Billy Bob Thornton is dropping out. Well, it was all a lie. Turns out it was AI generated. And so Billy Bob Thornton says it's AI generated crap. He's not leaving the show. You know what's crazy, folks? And you got to really have your head on a swivel. There is so much AI crap out there, and it is getting good. And I'm seeing people that fall for it, and I'm like, it's easy to fall for it. It's like bait. It's like chum in the water when you're a content creator, when you see something crazy and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to share this. I got to report on it. So I've now basically my normal routine of checking things to make sure they're not AI or real news or whatever. I've now had to like double and triple this process because, man, some of these videos are like so good. You almost don't even believe it's AI. They're so good. It's like I could do a whole show just showing you AI videos that people fall for. So just be very careful. Be very careful out there, especially if you're going to decide to share something or comment on something. I would maybe take that extra step before you fall for some AI slop. Because I'm telling you, folks, it's crazy. I mean, every day I'll have something in my stack and I'll go double check and it turns out it's AI. So just be careful. Be careful with the slop out there. All right. Let's we'll call it a night as far as the content is concerned. We'll get to your super chats now. We'll get to your super chats and close out the show for today. Let's do it like that, huh? Going late today. They were so nice to delay the I can't. It was really nice of them to delay the Houston Rockets San Antonio Spurs game for me. I may or may not have action on the Spurs tonight. So it was nice of them to delay it for me, but they've decided they're going to start it now because I'm going so late. I know the NBA was like, hey, Schroyer's got action and he's still live. So let's delay the game for him. And they did, but now they're tipping off. Don't worry, guys. I'm not a big gambler like that. But I got a little action on the Spurs. It was a good value play. And I kind of like Wemby. I kind of like what Wemby is doing down there. So there's your sports slop for the day. All right. I had a little sports slop for you. 7:36 on a Tuesday evening, late night, overtime, the Owen Report. Ken Rose with the thumbs up. Thank you, Ken. Squidabella Ross, that you've changed your name now. Now you're revealing yourself. Do you want more babies? Just wondering. I think that answer will always be yes. I think I'll always want more babies. So, yeah, I'm going to say yes. Robert Biggerstaff, is it true that Trump pardoned Pfizer? I haven't seen anything about that. Biden gave a fake pardon to Fauci, but Trump's not going to go after Pfizer. He's in bed with Big Pharma now. Loomer based out of Palm Beach, not Broward. She ran for office in one of those areas. Use Archive Today or Wayback Machine to read paywall. Oh, to get beyond the paywall? It's just, I don't want to deal with it. It's just, usually you can find these stories somewhere else, but every once in a while there's one that you can only access through a paywall. I don't know. Give me more super chats. Bring more subscribers to my YouTube channel so that I can buy all these subscriptions so I can access all these stories. For real, though, do you like banana bread? I do like banana bread. Did you see that video? The woman was like, oh, I think it was a Russian woman or something. She had an accent. She was like, the women today, they don't know how to take care of man. They can't find husband. Have you tried making a banana bread? Have you tried the banana bread? It's pretty solid. If you make good banana bread. Robert Bickerstaff, AI stands for another Indian. Not another. Squidabella again. I guess what? I just lost the game. I don't know what the game was. Tay from Florida, 36-year-old, 27-year-old Latina girlfriend, DJT full of crap. Careful with those Latinas, Tay. Very careful. Thoughts on Bill Cooper? Not tonight. Molly Pearson, their next move is to take away our free speech. Been warning you about that for months, years even. Been warning you. Here we go. Never doubt me, folks. Bill Cooper was right. People talk about Bill Cooper today. I'm starting to think Bondi's desk is in Israel. Well, if it was in Israel, we might actually see it or hear about it. No, I think it's in the abyss. I think it's in like it's trapped in some like alternative dimension. We can't get access to it in this dimension. We need like a secret passcode and a wand or something. Twitter Trump over Truth Social Trump. I get so frustrated. It's so hard to get all of Trump's Truth Social posts. See, now you've touched a nerve. And I actually sent this to a friend of mine who posts Trump's Truth Socials, and they cut out the timestamp. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why do you do that? You're a journalist. You know better. Don't cut out the timestamp. That's a very important part of the post is the timestamp. That's not irrelevant. That's very relevant. Stop it. But it's like all of these accounts that are on X that are like, I post all Trump's Truth Social posts. And then they don't even post it. You can't even find it. They repost a bunch of slop. All right, you touched a nerve with that one. You need to have faith in Trump on the Epstein files. Well, I kind of already said, it's like, it feels like it only goes two ways. It's like either Q is real or we're just totally sold out. I don't really see the middle ground here. And it's obvious what's happening. The victims, the victims in the Epstein files, those are the guys that were being blackmailed. They're victims of blackmail. So you can have the debate about what they were doing and, were they with little kids or was it something more diabolical and more disturbing or was it a 16-year-old that looked like she's 20? The point is look, put all of it aside. Have the debate about, okay, what are they really doing at Epstein Island? What are they doing at Spirit Cookings? All of this different stuff. It was an intelligence operation. It was a blackmail foreign intelligence operation to control our Congress, our bankers, our entertainers, and beyond. That's the story. That's what we need. Why is our government so corrupt? Because they're damn blackmailed. Fifth Elemento, Owen winning with that hairstyle. Please share. Well, I don't know. Share what? I don't even know the hairstyle. This is the longest my hair's ever been. And the gal that I go to, I'll tell you what I can do. How about this? Because I kind of joke about this with my hairstylist. How about this? How about the next time I go for I get a trim. I don't really get a cut. How about the next time I go for a hair trim, I'll do a live stream of it. How about that? Would you like that? Here, let me go into the chat and see if that's something. Because I don't know. I don't have a hairstyle. I just grow my hair and I go to my stylist and she just trims it. So I don't even know. This is the longest my hair's ever been. People seem to like it. So I think she does a good job. And honestly, it's ridiculous. No, it's not 3 to 4 inches at all. It's actually funny because the last time, if I would have done it the last time, it actually would have been funny because they were like, look, the ladies like the hair. All right, let's just say what it is. The ladies like the hair. The women like the hair. My hairstylist is a girl. And so the last time I was in there, there were a bunch of good-looking women observing my haircut. So that would be kind of funny. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen again, but that would be kind of funny. You guys would enjoy that. All right, Latina girlfriend has no car. I drive her around. Come on, man. Just share your car. Just share your car with your neighbors. You know, you don't have anything to do. The same people complaining about an energy shortage were the same retards who thought it was a great idea to blow up the Nord Stream pipeline. There you go again, thinking logically. There you go again. Trump became one of them after Butler, Pennsylvania. Boy, a lot of people have reached that conclusion. And I guess you can kind of understand it, you know, near-death experience or, you know, realizing people are actually going to kill you if you don't do their bidding. That might do it. But I guess that's all conspiracy theory. Jennifer, I'm a little late to the show today. How many $2 super chats did Tay-Tay do so far? I think we're on 3 so far, but we're not halfway through them yet. So he might be back. He might be back, Tay-Tay in Florida. We love all of our super chats. All right? We appreciate them. Greenlander checks $100,000. No tax on tip for us, though. When they F us, they just say it's just the tip. Oh, boy. No, that's such an insult, though. Oh, we'll give Greenlanders free money, but the American people that can barely afford their bills, you know, screw you. Exposed 305. The scam is not believing you're God's jewel by the Spirit and letting other rule over us that are. Blackish is not truly black, but a dark brown Jewish scam. Romans 2:28-29. Believing in his living word, my friend. Is that like, are you talking about like a black Israelite thing here? Is that where you're going with this? I already get this. That clip. And I mean, when you've been around media long enough, you kind of know it's like, all right, I've got an opportunity for a viral clip here. But when I had Pastor Greg Locke in, yeah, I had the list. I knew what I was going to do. And I read off the list of all the Israeli prime ministers, and all of them were European. And it's just gone massively viral now. So I don't know if that's what you're getting at here. But Milikowski is a Polish name. That's Netanyahu's real name is Milikowski. Speaking of what I voted for, I'm pissed off. Trump hasn't signed an executive order to ban presidents from using AutoPen to sign serious documents. Trump should have no issue. He loves his black Sharpie. Well, it's already illegal. They've already declared that the forgeries are illegal. So I don't think he needs to sign an executive order. He needs to arrest the people that did the forgeries. The real Emperor Palpatine. Stop ignoring Gen X. I'm sorry. It's not that I ignore Gen X. I think you have to understand, you know, I feel like Gen X, like you guys just don't give a shit. It's like you want to be left alone. I feel like that's your guys' kind of thing. It is like, yeah, we don't like, we just like leave us alone. Don't bother us. But no, I understand you're talking about the polls and the generational stuff that I was getting into. But I still think you guys are indifferent. I still feel like I feel like Gen X is the indifferent. Like that's your aura is you're indifferent. So I don't know. If I'm wrong, you can say so. You're weighing in. Mike Bertlett. What's everyone's thoughts on MTG stepping down? Maybe a new party needs to form, the Patriot Party. Maybe MTG and Matt Gaetz 28. Your thoughts, Owen? Yeah, well, Musk teased that, but now he's funding Republicans again in the midterms. But I don't think that necessarily means that Musk is not interested in starting a third party. You know, the precedent is a third party can't win. And it's been proven time and time again. But if I would say if there's a window of opportunity, this could be it. Maybe the 2028 election could be it. Because, yeah, nobody likes Republicans or Democrats anymore. So we'll see what Musk does after the midterms. Connie Reloaded. So when do you think we'll be getting our Doge checks? Well, Dodge, I don't think you'll ever get a Dodge check. A Doge check, you probably won't get. In fact, you might get a Dodge check before a Doge check, actually. Brother Fly Lineage, global depopulation is so realistic after Gaza. Well, I think those are two different things. But yeah, the depopulation agenda, the population control, eugenics agenda, that is definitely happening for sure. Sam White, how do I buy Gaza stock on the low? Well, I guess you could buy stock in the companies that are going to move in there and get rich off of it. I guess you could do that. Stocks are way down today, which is actually the time to buy. I bought some stock. I got into some stock today. I was like half out. I was like half out with my portfolio, and I went all in with the stocks collapsing today. Crypto is way down too. So hopefully there's a bump, but everybody's kind of concerned. The tariffs are the big thing right now, but everybody's kind of like, well, is the stock really going to keep high and keep going record highs like this? It's like, But that's my move, is when it's down is when I buy. It's worked for me. So honestly, look, obviously insider trading happens in DC, but I'm telling you, if you just follow the news and you follow who's in and out of the White House and who's getting government contracts, like if you just follow that closely, you can stay ahead of it. It's about timing, but you can stay ahead of it. So if you're looking at Gaza and you're saying, okay, I want to look at Gaza as a point of reference to stocks I want to buy, just look at the companies that are going to get in there, I would say. Because they got at least $50 billion coming in, according to Witkov. Marina Gavrich, I have so much to say on what I caught in today's show, and I will leave it. You're a good man, Owen. No, there are many good American men out there right here in this chat. You all need to figure out how to get in power. I like that. But I just, I feel like for me, it's kind of like the Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. But it's more like, not to be cliche, but we'll just put it's like let go and let God. If you just believe in God and you just give it up to him, it's such a stress reliever, and it's just, I don't know. It's worked out for me. It's worked out for me. It's all part of God's plan. The good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful. It's like, there's nothing you can do. It's the serenity prayer. Tay-Tay's back. America needs something like a Spanish golden age. Oh, we know what you're doing. Jeff Adira, Jeff Adar. Owen, please go on a ton of podcasts and spread the word. So look, yeah, that's a fair point. I've talked about this before, but I've never seen you in the super chat before, Jeff. So I'll address this. My theory is, I'm old school, guys. I'm an old school broadcaster. I do a 3-hour talk show. Honestly, I'd like to end up on Sirius XM, if I'm being honest. And it's like, oh, well, they'll never let you on Sirius XM. Well, they put Howard Stern on there. He just signed a new deal. How can I be any worse than Howard Stern? Honestly, I believe that's where I should be, probably. But I'm an old school type of broadcaster, and it's funny because I had some other stuff up here. Maybe I'll pull this up now as a little context, actually, here. Because I saw Tim Pool was complaining about this. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so Tim Pool said this the other day. He said shorts are all AI now. He's talking about, I think, YouTube shorts or Instagram, maybe. I'm really only on YouTube and X and Rumble, so I don't really know much about TikTok. I don't know much about Instagram. Actually, on the TikTok front, real quickly, I do have a TikTok account. I don't run it. I have a social media gal that runs it, and she does a great job. And she reached out to me today. I was going to see if she wanted to come on the show. I don't know if she wants to. She's great. You probably know who she is. But she told me apparently I'm getting videos banned on TikTok now. Only the videos that talk about regime change and the fake videos in Iran. And she was like, again, I don't know that. I'm not familiar with TikTok. I don't know anything about it. So she handles that. But she said, yeah, all of this started happening after Ellison got control of TikTok. All of a sudden they started banning your videos on foreign policy. So I asked if she wanted to come on today. She couldn't make it. Maybe we'll have, because I just don't know. I'm not on there. I don't know how it all works. So I'm assuming it's there too, but it's all slop. He says YouTube long form is starting to get overrun as well. Folks, I know I'm up against it. I know that this type of a show is like a lost art. It's like swimming upstream. It's like going against the trend. But this is what I do. This is what I believe my calling is. So I'm not going to stop. So back to your question, I could do the podcast interviews, but it's like this. I have a loyal audience. I am blessed that I have a loyal audience. I'm grateful for my loyal audience. And yeah, there's going to be room and times to do different shows and bring guests on. But to me, it's like, you guys want me. It's like you want the Owen Report. You want this show. You want my takes. You want my commentary. And what I've learned is if I start to do a bunch of interviews, because sometimes I will, sometimes I'll go on a spree and I'll do, 4 interviews in a week or whatever. But the problem is when I do that, it takes away from this show. It becomes a distraction from this show. And I don't want to do that. I want everything. It's like everything I do is condensed into this 3 hours. So if I go do an hour interview over here or an hour interview after or an hour interview before, it takes away from this show. It takes away from the quality of this show. And so that's why I don't do it. And I've talked about, the issues when you go on other people's shows or have them on, it's like all of a sudden all their baggage lands at your feet. And I don't even care about that, but it's just like somehow it just gets morphed into, oh, it's your baggage now. It's like, what are you talking about? I just did an interview. And Josie, the redheaded libertarian, does a great job kind of breaking that down because she just got it with Fuentes. And she's like, hey, screw you. I interview everybody. But she's more into that world anyway. But I will say that I'm working on potentially doing a tour. But again, the problem is, it's like if I do this, then I'd have to take a week off from the show. I can't. I could do it all, but it wouldn't be right. It's like if I'm going to do the podcast tour, then I have to go all in. I have to really commit and I have to do the podcast tour. Because if you're trying to do the podcast tour and do the live show, something is going to suffer. And then when something suffers, everything suffers. So I don't want to do that. So, but I am thinking about maybe taking a week in the spring to do a podcast tour and just shutting the show down for a week to actually do the podcast tour and do some alternative content, street content, whatever. But my mindset is my focus, my energy has to be concentrated and condensed into this 3-hour show because that's what gives the best product. I owe it to the sponsors. I owe it to the audience. So that's why we do it that way. But there's a time for that. So maybe we'll do it this spring. All truth leads to me. Bless you all. Scotty Gesso with the image of Jesus. So I assume that's what you're talking about, Scotty. Gregory Wright. Owen, don't ever hand anyone a wrench here. Let all the people say here what they really think. Well, I don't do that. Well, I don't know what you mean exactly. Let me just say this. I've never had a moderator in the chat. The only time I will ever kick somebody out of the chat is if they're just spamming. And so if that happens, maybe we'll do it. I haven't really had that issue to the extent where I feel the need to ban anybody. But if you're just here spamming a link or spamming, copy, pasting, whatever, then I'll boot you from the chat. But other than that, I don't have moderators. It's totally free speech. And it's like, you want to know why nobody has the blocked by Owen Schroyer card on X? Because I've never blocked anybody. And I don't want to block anybody. I like free speech. I like debate. I like the haters. But if you're spamming in the chat, that's probably the only thing that would get you booted is if you're spamming or copy and pasting or, a link or something like that. Otherwise, it's a free-for-all in there, guys. It's, I mean, you see, it's crazy in there. Blackmail and money is used for useful idiots and weak. At the Davos policy level, it goes back to Crusades. That's when the marriage began. They share a religious worldview. Avoiding this point just helps them. Clyde 5197. Well, that's why it was like admirable for Matt Gaetz to come out and basically be like, okay, I can't be the attorney general because they blackmailed me, but I'm not going to cuck to it. It's just, that's what it is. Actually pretty patriotic, if you ask me. Oh, look at that. The Spurs are winning. I better shut up. My Way 87. I'm in Brisbane, Australia. Got a lot of listeners in Australia. What's up down under? COVID camps, prisons built in Pinkenba and Wellcamp airports. Camps currently empty. Draconian speech laws passed last night. These camps next to airports make sense. Oh, I've been scraping that from my stack. I guess I could consider my Australian audience a little bit more. You know, I'm centric for an American audience. I scrapped the Australian speech laws. Yeah. I scrapped from the news. They just signed crazy speech laws in Australia. Crazy. Draconian speech laws. Totally anti-free speech. But I bet you can't guess. I bet you can't guess what it's for, though. I bet there's no way you could guess what the speech laws are stopping. There's no way. Debbie should wear a burqa, bro. That's hideous. Pittsburgh bad. Yeah, the burqa. Yeah, it goes to the legs. It covers the legs. Yeah, well, that's something. That's a freak. I don't know if there's a freakier looking woman. She looks like a damn lizard. It's like a kimono dragon hybrid with those sausage pork legs. Angel Silva, 100% agree. Hispanics, blacks, and the white collective can fight again for its sovereignty. Time to separate the political power from the economic power in the U.S. Yeah, I like that breakdown. That's an original one from me. Pretty brilliant by them to show MAGA now all the free speech frauds just as fake as the left. Hey, now you're getting it. Yeah. Ellie Inad. I paused Europa the Last Battle to watch this. Isn't that a pretty long one, though? That's like 15 hours, isn't it? What's better? What do you like more? I guess this, because you broke away to watch this. Thank you. Glad you're here. Nice to see you. Currently blasting Ye's HH from my car's speaker. Be careful in Florida, Tay. Be careful down there. Careful now. Glad to see you doing well, Owen. Louis 67. Thank you, Louis. Thank you. We are doing well. Appreciate that. Danish 3. Democrats are international socialists. Well, I don't know what they are. I don't even think they know what they are, honestly. So, but they're definitely, they vote socialist. They practice socialism. They just want to force all of us. They just want to force all of us into it. PFF 1974. This country was built on heritage Americans with English and German ancestry and immigrants from Europe with minimal exceptions from elsewhere who respected those who laid the foundations before them. Well, that is mostly true. It's not 100%, but yeah, that's mostly true. Yeah, I mean, where do you think the Schroyers came from? Yeah, the Schroyers. My memory of it was so long ago now, but I've told the story about my great aunts that were basically going city to city, courthouse to courthouse with a damn crowbar. They literally had to crowbar these rooms open to get the family ancestry. And she did it. They'd go into these rooms, hadn't been probably opened in 100 years, and they'd crowbar into them, and it'd be like just plumes of dust. And my great aunt, she had, man, it was one of the coolest things. I tried to get it, but she gave it to her son, I think has it. Binders, literally binders of the Schroyer ancestry. Crazy. And if I remember, it's been more than, it's probably been like 15 years now or more. I'd have to go beg that part of my family to get those binders. But if I remember, it was 7 Schroyer brothers that moved to America from Germany in the 1680s. And they were basically like, Puritan farmers for about 100 or so years and then started to move about. A couple got married to Native Americans, but it was mostly Germanic roots. A little bit of Sweden, but mostly Germanic, Sweden. Nellie's hot in here in the car right now. All right, that's legal. We accept that. Oh, that's what you meant by HH. Right. Yeah. I get you now. Mountain Woman sent a super sticker. Super, thank you. I can't see the super stickers. I don't even know what those are. I can't see them. What are your thoughts on Bill Cooper calling Alex Jones a sensational bullshit artist? Well, I'll just say this. He lied about me. So take that how you want. Jordan Walker 2921. Hey, Owen, I know we don't know each other too well, but I live 7 houses down. Can I borrow your car to grab some Taco Bell, let's say at 1 a.m.? Well, sure, neighbor. Yeah, I guess I don't need it at 1 a.m. Let's hope there's no emergency. Go get some Taco Bell. Bring me back a Crunch Wrap, huh? W live stream on getting the hair trim. Better not be that Asian spot off Palmer Lane. My mom works there. Asian spot off Palmer Lane. No, it's not that. No, it's not. It's not that. I tell you, I could tell you a really weird story about getting my hair cut in this town. I've had some weird stories getting my hair cut. I'll tell you. And so what I learned was, because I get recognized. It's weird. I get recognized for whatever reason at these barbershops. So I've had just some weird stories at barbershops. Good, bad, whatever. But now I learned after one went a really weird direction. I mean, like, I won't even say it. It's so strange. So what I learned after that was I only go to my friends now. So I got a friend that's a barber down here. I probably went to him for like 3 years. Just great guy. But now my hair is long, and so I need a stylist. So then I went to my friend, my girlfriend. She's not my girlfriend. We're not dating, but I went to her because she's a hairstylist. So I was like, yeah, my barber, he's good when I get my hair cut, my beard shaped and everything. But now that I have this long hair, I don't know. I need a stylist. So I went to her, and now she does a good job. But no, I don't think I know about that place. I'm praying for Owen to go on Tucker. I went on Tucker December, I believe right after I got out of prison. So it would have been right before Christmas, I think. December 2024 was I on Tucker. I'd like to go on again, but I have been on Tucker before. He brought me on when I got out of prison. Kushner owns Affinity Partners. Wait, is that the same? No. Wait, was it Affinity? Was it Affinity that John Thune's daughter just became vice president of? I think it was something else. I don't think it was Affinity, but John Thune's daughter just got a big mergers and acquisitions role. Hey, I'll check on Affinity for you. Are they even public? I don't see them. Oh, there's a ton of them. Affinity Partners. There's Affinity Bank. It's not that. There's Affinity World Leaders. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Affinity is publicly traded. I can't find it. So look at who they do business with then, if you want to try to get involved there. Have you reached out to Dave Smith? He'd have you on. You know, I've been trying to get Dave's attention for a while. And he's liked some of my stuff on X. He doesn't follow me, so I can't reach out. But I've been trying to get his attention. I'd love to talk to Dave Smith. I'd love to go on his show. That'd be a great honor. Pittsburgh Bad. Let's get a sports show going, even if it's only weekends. And my family has been here since Pangea, the continental split, and we were born from dust. Incredible. That's incredible, man. Thank you for telling that story here. Wow. It's moving. That's moving. All right, guys. All right, we got through it. 4-hour show tonight. Thanks for sticking around. Had a great time with you guys. Oh, we got one more. Celtic believer in Christ. Do you think Trump low-key converted to Judaism? You know, Mark Levin made that claim, and Trump didn't deny it. He didn't seem to affirm it, but he didn't seem to deny it. Now, if you go by his actions, oh, yeah. We're joking. We're joking. I don't know. People claim Trump is a born-again Christian. Mark Levin claims he's Jewish. I don't know. Obviously, his daughter is Jewish. She converted and married Kushner. So I don't know. If he did, I think that would explain a lot, though, as far as his priorities are concerned. The denied wreath. Affinity Partners owns QXC Inc., which is a building materials distributor. I found the most likely contender for a Gaza contractor. F you got me again. Well, what do you mean I got you? Are they public? Is QXC public? Let me see. I'll put that on my list. No, I don't see them on there. So I have to look into that. Guys, I don't even see. My problem is I don't want to. It's like we could have fun and we could talk, we could talk stock markets and talk sports gambling and stuff. My thing is I don't want somebody to make a big risk and lose and then have something to do with that. I just don't even want to risk that risk, if that makes sense. But what did I tell you? I told you last week. I told you my bets. I told you I had Patriots. I told you I had Broncos. I told you I had the Hoosiers. I mean, I'll tell you, I got the Patriots right now to win the Super Bowl. It's not even that I necessarily am that confident. It's really, to me, it was just a good value bet. It was just a good value to get in at. Look, here's what I was going to say. I can't even believe it. It's like, that's why another part of me doesn't even want to say it because I don't want to jinx myself. I just finished 1 year in the stock market, guys. You wouldn't believe my percentage. You wouldn't believe it. And you wouldn't believe, I mean, maybe with the sports thing, I don't take big risks, but I have a very high success rate. And I don't really promote it because I think it's not really classy. I don't want people to make decisions based off of what I'm doing. I don't like bragging about it because it's just like bad karma. But I mean, folks, I'm just telling you, if you just follow the news and the trends and the movers and shakers, you can do well. I mean, it worked for me. And then as far as sports are concerned, to me, it's about finding the right value at the right time and making, the smart bet. But it's like, again, I don't really, I mean, we could do that. We could do that. And maybe we do a separate show. And somebody said we should do something like that, a sports show. So I will say, I mean, this is my plan. And who knows? Who knows? We're in month number, what do we got? October, November, December, or, we're almost through January. So we're only in month 4. The Owen Report is only 4 months old, guys. And I know a lot of you have been listening to me for 10 years or so, but this is only 4 years. This is only 4 months. The Win Network is essentially 4 months old. So, I mean, we're in the infant stage here. We're in infancy as far as this is concerned. So we'll see, we'll see how successful this can be. I'm not making a bunch of money. It was never about money, but if the Owen Report and the Win Network does really well, then yeah, I plan on expanding. I plan on hiring other people. Got 2 employees right now, but I would like to expand. I would like to expand Win Network's media. I'd like to launch Win Sports. That's really the next thing I want to do is once I take care of some other things internally, as far as the Owen Report and production and management and stuff like that, I'd like to have Win Sports. I'd like to have Win Sports, and I could bring on a gambling sponsor like that. I mean, I don't know. I don't really want it for the Owen Report per se. You could bring on a gambling sponsor. They're everywhere. They make all kinds of money. But if we're successful here and I get the opportunity, say, I don't know, a year or more or less, I'd like to have Win Sports. I've already got the people in mind that I'd like to run it. I've already got the vision for how we're going to do social media to be successful on social media. So I've already got the vision for all of this, but it's kind of all dependent on how successful the Owen Report is. So we do well on YouTube, knock on wood. We do well, Rumble, Super Chats, sponsors, whatever, then we can do these expansion things. But this is month number 4, guys. We're in the infancy here. So just be patient. I'm a young guy. I'm 36 years old. I'll do this for 70 more years if I have to. So that's the plan. There you go. It's we're almost 4 hours in here. You get to hour number 4, stuff just starts to fall out. Easy. Pittsburgh bad. That's cool. I appreciate that you don't want people to lose because of you, but talking sports is fun. It is fun. And I remember, this was like when if I was ever a degenerate gambler, but I was never a big risk gambler, but just for fun. It was Italy lost, I think it was Euro or was it the World Cup? I can't remember if they lost to Germany. It was Euro or World Cup, whatever it was. Anyway, Italy was like on this huge run in this soccer tournament. The World Cup is coming here. That's really cool. That is really cool. But Italy was on this huge run. I went through this. It was either the World Cup or the Euro Cup. I can't remember now. It was so long. It was like 2012 or something. I hit a run. I started with like I said, I'm not a big risk guy. So I had like $100 and I was like, I'm going to make a bet on a couple soccer games. And I hit like 10 in a row. And I just kept letting it ride. And I was younger and it kind of built up to, it was like, damn, like this is pay my bills for a couple months. And I was so confident that Italy was going to win. I was like, this is the easiest bet. And I let it all ride on Italy and they lost. And I remember saying something that day on the air about it. And it was like, damn, I never want to do that to somebody. It's like, if I do it to myself, then that's fine. I never want to do that to somebody. Because I was like, this is the surest bet. Italy's going to, beat their, and then they lost. I think it was Germany. I should have known. Should have known the Germans. Jordan Walker, crunchy wrap. You got it, bud. Thank God for the everybody share your car idea from the EU. What would we do without it? Keys in the gas tank. Mark safe on the app, I guess. Well, actually, too, whatever, we have to share our food, too. So this is the new plan from the World Economic Forum. We also have to share our cars and our food. So you have to share everything now because we're the have-nots. The haves, they have entire kitchens full of chefs on their yacht. But you and I need to share a car and share our crunch wrap. Otherwise, you're a bad citizen. See? That's how it works. All right, there it is. We did it, guys. 4 hours tonight. So, hey, sorry I was late. Sorry the opening was a little clunky there. But we made it up. We made it up by going 4 hours tonight. We went the distance. Thanks to everybody that tuned in. Love you guys. Love you. Thanks to all the super chatters. Thanks to everybody that shares the clips, shares the show, tells other people to tune in. Really appreciate you. We sign off for the night. Shamelessly, go Spurs.